Alright, welcome back to another episode of Art Time, where today we're going to be doing a pretty big drawing, but it's hopefully not going to take us too long, since we're going to be posting this on Sunday. So, yes, before we fully go into it, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Now then, let's get right on into it, shall we? So yes, I think it's about time I do another drawing of these girls, but this time at what I believe is Tasha's place, because memory serves correctly, I made her a barista, so that's where she is right now. And her friends are there, of course, because obviously they're like the main center point of this group. Despite the fact that these two are the ones that are shown more throughout the entirety of that group's drawing process than all the others. Although that's not to say that none of them are all shown. I think the only other one here who's shown more is Nakato. But, yeah. That's pretty much like the entire premise of I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I can't think of the words I am trying to say. But it's fine because, we don't need to think about words to say the things that we need to say. All we need to say is that we are drawing these girls here. And we're drawing them inside of Tasha's coffee shop. The only thing I can't remember is whether or not she owns it or if she just works there. I mean, if she owns it, she wouldn't be, doing stuff there. But then again, Chijimatsu also, although maybe she does, occasionally, wait, I think I remember, actually, she was supposed to mostly just, whoops, oh wait, right, I gotta switch over the brush. She only served her friends, while she has a bunch of others on this, the whole, employees that serves all the others. I mean, that makes sense if you're, running your own, I guess in Chijimatsu's instance, your own sushi restaurant. You'd be serving your friends and, getting everything set, getting all the food set so that you can sit down with them and converse or chat. Which is still strange. I mean, I guess it's not really strange to me, but probably strange to other people. Strange to think that despite, Rain, Chijimatsu, and Nakato owning their... DJ... God, so I got this muscular weaving on the brain. And y'all don't know she likes anime. As a parent to her weird get-up. But, yes, to some people it might be strange to think that those girls are able to, own anything. They're not, professional looking to do many things behind the scenes. And you know what? That's what most people do. Okay, most. Or most people should be doing. Why are some people so adamant on keeping up professional appearance? Okay, now this part's going to be a bit of a challenge, because I gotta try to figure out a way to get this to be behind... Okay, I mean, I probably could do a little something. All of you is behind the table, so table. I just put all of that there, and I can have the rest of your shirt here. There we go. It's always nice to see Erica's full hair showing. Just to, show that she's got long hair instead of, the usual front aspect. I don't know why, but for some reason my brain only, takes into consideration this part and this part of the hair, but not the part that goes, further down. Sometimes I forget she has long hair, and that makes no sense when you get raw down to it, but you know what? I have so many creations that it's hard for me to keep track of things. And I'm gonna have even more creations. It's just never-ending spew of creations. Even if some of them are, meant to be NPCs or, background characters in certain things. It's just insane that we still have so many characters that we can create. It's a never-ending reservoir of creations. You know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. Honestly, I think I'm quite lucky in my ability to just always come up with something to draw. And just pulling designs out of my asses and somehow still making them look good. Of course, I feel like I should take some time when it comes to like certain designs and whatnot that I'm trying to like fulfill to, you know, make it the best it can be. But you also got to keep in mind, not many people are going to have like that kind of complex appearance. So you can't go too complex, and it's good if you don't go too simplistic. I mean, you got a character like Moon who has a really nice design that's not too complex. I think the only really complex part about Moon's design is her heels. The shoes, those are, you know, a little bit more tricky to like get all of that drawn in, if you know what I mean. You gotta like draw the little bits and bobs and have it like be several freaking layers. Well, some characters' shoes are so simple, like Adela's shoes right here being literally just a pair of red heels. Which, honestly, that's all you really need if you're going to be making heels. But if you want to make a design, and, you know, by all means, make the design. You could probably make a good design. But, you know, if I'm not feeling a design for a shoe, I don't really try to go for it. Also, it's good to want to keep things relatively simplistic anyways if you're going to draw characters multiple times. Like, I mean, well, what's the best example? Someone like, Nova Guardians is a good example. Yashashi, for instance. Her design is relatively simplistic, and drawing her multiple times isn't that big of a pain. However, characters like Shikama, you know, I guess I could probably just show you the drawing. If you've been sticking around with this entire Art Time series, you would know them by now if you saw the episode with them. See, Yashashi with the simplistic black kimono. Then we got freaking Shikama with the outfit. Let me bring up the first drawing of him, actually, so I can show you just like the complexity in his outfit here, just for shits and giggles. Too much there. A lot of detail. I mean, it's not as a whole bunch, but it is like a lot more. Tina's like edging in between the simplistic and complexity, and John's is a little bit more all over the place. Which, you know, I guess it's fine. But there's a specific, like, what do you call it? A specific way you gotta go about making these particular types of designs. If you want to make a design of a character who's, you know, has got more staying power in something, and you do want to try to make them look nice and cool. I guess another good example is the Elementals Reborn cast. Do I even have, like, one that shows them all in one instead of having, like, load up multiple? I mean, I've drawn these before I did, what do you call it? Yeah, I got Gwyneth over here. This is a complex necklace that I, like, remove in the actual drawing over there, far alongside the uncle and the friend, but those two don't have too big of importance. He does to an extent, but only for probably, like, what, a few episodes or so. And then we've got Ariella Mine's design, another somewhat simplistic design, but still has a little bit more, what do you call it, to it. Instead of just like leaving it blank, we got like some motifs and like a diamond here. Now here's the definition of complex. So many freaking holes that you have to like fill in. And same with this. That's simplistic. That's somewhat complex, but not, I'm not sure. I got like the basic characters. Well, even the basic characters have some semblance of a complex design. Not complex, that's definitely not complex. Now here's complex. This is the level of complex that I'm talking about. I might reduce Genthru's armor bits a bit in the series once I start making that. But other than that, we got a little bit more of a simplistic design right here with Domadora. I just gotta like remove some of this stuff. Because the pants and the frickin' most of the body, simplistic. The cups, a little bit more complex. It's a fine line. I don't know why I'm trying to like say it like as it's this is how it's supposed to be. No, that's just how I perceive it. You can perceive complex and simplistic any other way you want. A design like Gantharu's can be simplistic to you, but to me it's more complex because I gotta draw so many bits and pieces. That's where the complexity comes from, actually. The complexity comes from having to draw many different types of, what do you call it? I think I made this bit too big. I can fix that. Yeah, like, they, having to, like, not draw so many pieces at once. Also, I think I accidentally clicked that. So, yeah. Yeah, a little bit of, how I perceive complex and simplistic design. Even if I'm not a professional, I think most people can agree that a character with a lot of decal and details to them is a complex design. Even if that like design that you have in mind is like just a simple pattern. Now, while I would say that Moon's design is somewhat simplistic, there's still the fact that you have to make the square grid pattern on her shirt. And there's a few other instances on the Moon's character. I still don't understand, really, the fine line between simplistic and complex. I'm sure somebody could tell me. But I have my own perceived notion of how that all looks. And that's, that's what matters. Doesn't matter how complex a character's design is, provided I don't draw them like 100 times in an instance. What are you looking at, cat? Poke. You're in loaf mode. I pet the loaf. She just has like a weird shape where her like shoulder is like right here, then the arm curves in and does that. What is that shape? Your arm's like that. I think she's just in bunny mode right now. Is that bunny mode? Put your arms like this and in that position or something. I don't know. You're making a weird shape. And you're just purring. Alright, anywho's and wits. Yes, back to the drawing. I'm going to have to save these color swatches for this once I'm finished with the characters. But for now, that's Erica finished. And now for Beverly. And provided that I do this properly... Actually, wait a minute. Beverly is behind the table. So this actually should be relatively easy. I'll have another layer for chair. It seems kind of pointless to have another layer for the chair. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We are going to go on ahead and switch over to Beverly's swatch. Yeah, that's another good thing about like characters that I have drawn already. Oops, forgot the layer. I have gotten all of their swatches pretty much pre-made. That's the great thing about drawing characters you've already made, is that you already have their swatches. All the colors that you use to color them in, it's already there. No need to recreate it. It's just right there, right for you. Wait a minute. Something isn't right here. Run, Barn! It's another inside little funny scene with Fred and Barney. It's like Fred's got depression for some reason. Talking about how he hardly gets out of bed to Barney. And if you like leave the conversation, if you leave the conversation in the middle, because there's like apparently there's some strange impeding force that is trying to like go after them, or well, it depends on like there's like a. If those two are in the same, I don't know how to explain it. If you leave too early, Fred, thinks you don't care about him anymore, and then the friendship is broken, and chances are Fred probably dies, but it goes into game over after that, because I didn't think of anything else for that. But if you stay too long, Fred, continues talking until he is cut short by himself, where he says, "Oh, wait a minute, something's not right." And then that's the impeding force where it just is a close-up on Fred's face where he just like, "Run, Barney!" looking in that direction for some reason. And then here comes a giant, I don't know what kind of animation this is. Clay animation of, not really clay exactly, but clay animation of Wilma and Betty, who's just like coming out. They're just giant, coming over the hills. And they just crush Fred. And then they're just trying to grab Barney, and in a sequence initiates where you're running away from them. And if you successfully run away, then I haven't thought about that. I only thought about the part where Barney gets caught. Okay, so if you fail to, run away, you get caught, put inside of this purse that looks like you're going inside of the vag, but it's really just a flesh purse made out of dinosaur flesh. It's a close-up where it's just like this opens up, closed, and it's just a literal just zooms out in a purse. I know, strange, right? And that's why this kind of content can only be accessed in the Weird Factory. Which, by the way, Cat, why haven't they come to show us the Weird Factory? The ROTC cats. The cats that the second life that you cats get after your life in this world ends. Why haven't they shown up yet? Surely it can't mean that they don't exist. No, we don't have proof. Also, I kind of want to make this a bit smaller. I mean, there's no way we actually know if they exist because of the fact that, well, I've said this before in a previous episode, but I don't remember if that was the Cadillac drawing or not. Unknown unknowns and known unknowns. We can't exactly disprove that alternate universes don't exist, because we haven't gotten any proof proving that it doesn't exist. And if we were to get any form of proof in the department of whether or not it exists or not, also I should probably make another strand here, then no matter what, if we find that alternate universes exists, then you can't really disprove it anymore. That's the thing. It's the same thing when it comes to the concept of God. You can't prove that God exists, but you can't disprove it either. People out there that's really just having faith because they want to believe that there's something in after death, that's fine. But going around ridiculing people and giving them shit and telling them that you're going to go to hell because God don't like the thing you're doing, that's not fine. I'm pretty sure God doesn't give a damn about what we do, so long as we live our life and we don't hurt people. Which, funnily enough, most Christian people are doing to other people. But, again, that's mostly stemming from the extremists and whatnot. I don't know how we went to the topic of religion, but, it doesn't matter. It don't quite matter. I've also had thoughts about the fact that if there was a God, well, here's this little tidbit that I have said many times before previously, where, I have a theory that whatever we create, i.e. these girls right here that I'm creating right now, they exist in another universe. And the same applies to anybody else who creates something. Any television series out there, while we are building it up and creating it, it's actually happening in another universe. Because those creations, while they do look like they come to life here, well, you see, they come to life in another universe as well. I know it's kind of hard to really explain fully, but I have said this before. So, with that being said, I have created a lot, a whole lot. And in my mind, I can't really see God as anything other than, just you and me. Just some person who created some show or some characters and some instance that replicates their universe with ours, or that replicates our universe with theirs, I guess would be the better way to talk about that. And, that's how I would see what the God of this universe would be. It's literally just someone that's like you and me. That's what I would believe, anyways. But we don't really have the ability to prove nor disprove it. And the same rule applies to just the Christian's version of God. In their mind, you can only really have faith that he exists. But if I were in God's shoes, I wouldn't care what my creations do. I mean, look at me creating my creations and having them have the time of their lives. All the girls with the moon, and all the other girls with all the other girls. Luna, for instance. Could you freaking imagine a freaking universe where they believe that I'm like their Jesus Christ, but it's completely different from what the Christians see Jesus Christ in this universe? That's how it would be like. It's just like the God in my universe would be completely different, if not for the fact that it's supposed to mirror our universe. But it's still funny to think that Jesus Christ is actually like a pervert, but is also like very open with sexual stuff. And it's just like, you can do whatever you want, so long as you're not hurting anybody. But then there's also the side where Luna just does whatever she wants, and she's causing a menace to many characters of other universes. So maybe that's the Satan of my freaking MCU. Yes, of course. My multiverse creation, or my multi-creational universe. Yeah, sure, why not? That's what we'll call my MCU. Because I essentially have like multiple different creations in multiple different universes. I mean, I don't exactly like. Okay, there's the what do you call it character from the Tied to Twin series. I wouldn't say that they are like in my universe, because obviously if we're going off of we are the creator of our own universes, then naturally it would make sense that they would be a part of their own universe, side universe, not a side universe, the main universe of the person who originally created them. This is confusing as hell, I'm sure, but trust me, it's not. The person who originally created those two created their universe. I'm simply just having those two in my universe as an alternate universe variation of them, which allows for them to meet up with a Nami production group, and essentially creating that drawing, which is somehow it's not beaten out the Daphne drawing yet, but I think it's going to soon. Do we have any notifications? Nah. Damn. Yeah, it's got like 400 favorites right now. It has yet to reach where it needs to be, but the only other instance that we have in the mature fan art department, I'll go look at it right now, because I think I only got like 3 mature drawings with like favorites, or 400 favorites, I mean. One of them at 422 being Luna Save Ragdoll, and the other one, which is quite far away. Actually, I don't even know how far this is. It definitely is not that far. I think I just passed it. Hold on. You guys can't see it because you're still on the coffee cup. It would have to be after this, right? Ah, yes, here it is. Yeah, the Daphne drawing's at 414. And the Luna Save Ragdoll drawing is at, 422. Right, 422. So Ragdoll is the highest in favorites, followed by Daphne, followed by the Tide Twins crossover. But it's honestly kind of impressive that a couple of, I wouldn't really call them like fan art related characters, because they don't have like the same mainstream as most of the other fan arts do. Should I be going up higher? I think that probably should be going up higher. Hold on. Because that's like the only reason why I have like the fan art folder as is. Because it's essentially supposed to be, what's the word? Mainstream fan art related characters. And even if that doesn't apply to characters that are secondary, like for instance that parachute girl from Kurosawa Dog, she's still from like a mainstream thing. She is still from a mainstream show. And that's how we essentially set up the entirety of the fan art folder. I don't know what color I want this to be. I'm trying to find like a good color scheme to go with this. Bright? Yeah, you know what? Sure, bright. Bright will work. Anyways, yeah, it's still pretty cool to see that something that's not in the mainstream fan art department is literally tied to third with the other mainstream fan art departments, and is essentially about to potentially surpass those two. I mean, it needs 23 for it to reach first in the favorites department. I'm curious to see if I have any. I mean, the only way I'll have anything over like 100 or 3. The only thing I can have that's over 300 favorites are mature drawings. So it's pretty easy for me to track which drawing has the most favorites and whatnot. Although I wish we still had that option. It would be nice if we still had that option, but we don't, apparently. Don't worry, I never forgot her hands. I'm just getting the cup here done with first. But, yeah. We got ourselves some... Oops, that's not what I want. I wanted this color. We got ourselves some... what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, in many universes. Yeah, that's what we were talking about before. I wasn't looking for a word. I was stalling for time to figure out what the hell I was talking about before. But yes, all the universes that we've created and whatnot. Oh yeah, that's right. And we went to that conversation because we were also talking about how the gods and whatnot are just probably like you and me who are creating these characters and whatnot. And how this, well, as much as I would like for this universe's god, i.e. me, to be, what do you call it? It would only make sense that humanity would perceive God as this, what do you call it, thing. I mean, yeah, most people are so goddamn insensitive when it comes, or not insensitive, squeamish, phobic, when it comes to anything involving mosquito. No, you idiot. This fucking insect. I'm gonna kill these mosquitoes, I swear. Anyways, as I was saying before, you did the whole... yes, phobic towards sexual stuff. I mean, yes, many people are also phobic towards mosquitoes, that's a given. Also, I think this needs to... Because I was making this into a thumb, but this thumb doesn't look like a thumb. I gotta make this thumb look like a thumb. But yeah, most people out there are so goddamn phobic when it comes to sexual stuff. I swear I'm gonna clap that mosquito's ass. If it's the last thing I do, Barney, I'm gonna clap that mosquito's ass. See, now most people out there with very adverse effect towards sexual stuff would probably wince at that and be like, ugh. But also, most people would not want to clap a mosquito. Well, Christ. There is that one mosquito from One Punch Man. God, I'm sorry I brought up that One Punch Man villainess, who literally gets one shot. But yeah, sexual stuff. Right. The whole most Christians are so adverse to that kind of stuff, and then there was those who are hypocritical about it, who are trying to save face and make it look like they're for removing it, but they have like a stockpile of all the porn in the world, of all the porn in the world. And then they just go on ahead and ban all... They try their best to ban all of porn. There's so many people out there who are just so goddamn adverse to sexual stuff. It's kind of saddening, really. It's kind of saddening. Like, not safe for work is apparently just not something that people are tolerant towards. I can understand, like, certain not safe for work stuff. But, yeah, it's a very sad day when nobody really, like, goes for anything kinky or anything like that. Also, which one is this again? I think this is just well, Yeah, just check it. Let's see. So, anywho's in wits, yes. I mean, if you all are looking at this drawing and you're like, these characters look so cool, I like them so much. Guess what? These characters all stem from a mature drawing. That's right, a mature drawing. And she was the first one. Although, I guess technically speaking, these 6 started on the first drawing, but because of Tasha, these 6 were created. And because of that, in part of all of the whatnots and do-hows, because of that, these were all made from a mature drawing in relation to that and whatnot. I know. You're all just like, how could you? And I'm like, you're really surprised? If you're surprised, then you don't know me at all. Why are you even here if you don't even know me? But, yeah, it's the truth. If it wasn't for me drawing Tasha showing her feet, we wouldn't be having these 6 girls, and how would we? Especially Nakato. I have definitely taken a liking to Nakato. Although I haven't really gotten, like, a real good picture of her yet drawn. And I kind of really want to just, like, get one out of the park. This one is going to be, this one is going to be somewhat of an exception because of the whole, we drawing so many girls here. It's a lot of characters that we've drawn. It's probably for the best that we try to keep things relatively simplistic for the time being. If anything, just to ensure that we don't take ages in this drawing. I know I probably shouldn't go for 10 drawings a month, 2 for the hardcore mature drawing stuff. But I can't help it. I want to make more stuff. And I also don't want Adventurous Ami to go down into the darkness, never to be seen again. Patreon over here is a bust, unfortunately. I can't have many of my stuff on a site that really just limits creativity. I can't. That's why I'm on Deviantart. Deviantart does not limit your creativity that much. I mean, sure, they are frowning upon, like, underage stuff, and that makes sense. My creativity only really stems from characters who are of age. As you can see with all of my OCs, all of my creations and whatnot. Although, granted, I only have, like, what, a few? Wait, how many characters do I have, actually, that are under the age of 18? Let me see if I can... Ah, shit. Shit. Also, that, right. It's fine. It's an easy fix. It's a good thing we also have it on its own layer, so we don't have to worry about that stuff. So let's see. There's Hyung, that blue-haired singer girl. Sees, I forgot how old she was. 10? It's been a while. Then there is Blue, that androgynous blue-haired fellow or feller. I don't know what that would be in terms of the word and whatnot. You know what I mean. Whom of which... mouse is turning. I'm gonna probably have to get another freaking battery. I should just get a damn battery. I should just get up right now, pause the video, grab a spare set of batteries, and be prepared for this thing to stop working all of a sudden fully. I should. But I'm not. We'll just deal with that. We're gonna keep forgetting about it, and then we're gonna have to deal with it. That's how it is. Hopefully I can find a battery without too much issue. I keep forgetting where the hell they place the batteries. Oof. Anyways, Adela's next. I don't draw much with Adela. Like, okay, let me look on here for a second on DeviantArt. Because it's easier to just type in the hashtag. So, how many do we have of Tasha? Excluding the, what do you call it, drawing. The 1000 deviation milestone drawing. there's 5 drawings of Tasha, 2 of which currently, technically 3 if you want to count the last one, is safe for work. Well, one of them is pseudo not safe for work, but it's inconspicuous enough to not be, what do you call it? Then there's Tanisha, so Tasha's at 5. Oh, geez, Tanisha's only at 3. I think both her and, well, no, wait, Adela might only be at 2. I'm going to look through all the others. Nakato, definitely got to be the most. Nakato's at 7. So 5, 3, and 7. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I'm not counting the hardcore mature drawing we have of her. Divya is at 3. Alright, cool, great. Erica and Beverly are definitely high up there, 8. Somewhere on the same vein as Nakato, 8. Let me just go back and just make sure I remember that correctly. No, it's 7. Never mind. Oh, I guess technically with the hardcore mature drawing and the, I guess technically speaking, she's at 8 as well. And then there's Beverly, who's also at 8. And now the only one left, Adela. Oh, right! She's at 3 because I forgot I drew her in this one. How could I forget? Right. So Adela, Divya, and Tanisha are the only ones who are like at the lowest at 3. With Beverly and Erica at the highest with 8. Nakato at 7. And Tasha at 5. So yeah, the girls here, at least these 3 are the ones who aren't focused on as much. Which I should try to draw them more. I do have an idea with Adela here, though. Also, I grabbed her swatch, right? Yeah, there's the shoe color. It's the same as that. That's what I have planned for the next set of drawings that you're not going to see on YouTube, of course, because obviously it's a mature drawing. And also, it's just good to want to have like a set of drawings that I can just... Checking if I saw a mosquito, but it's just an eye floater or something, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, as I was saying before, it's good to want to have like drawings where you don't need to record. And that's where the mature drawings come into play. And hardcore mature drawings. I gotta figure out where I want to like, or when I want to post the rest of the Patreon stuff on Subscribestar. I'm still waiting for the Subscribestar review process to go through. At the very least, I can still post text and photos, which is literally all I need for this, for all of the stuff that I've made, so thankfully I don't have to worry about it too much. But, yeah. I gotta get that set up before August ends. So I'm gonna have to definitely set aside a date for that. Maybe not tonight. It might be tonight. Well, tonight is in Wednesday night. So technically speaking, well, it might be tonight on Sunday. Who knows? Because after we finish this, the limitation period ends. That's it. We finish in the limitation period, and then the next one starts. And that's where we start going for a more consistent schedule when it comes to drawings. Gonna have 10, I guess you would call them regular drawings. That's lip, right? That is lip, right? Pink lips. Right. You got 10 regular drawings. I guess I can have that be on the same one. Also, let me just make sure that this is... No, it's not. That's easy enough. 10 regular drawings a month and 2 hardcore mature drawings a month. Where every Friday we do 2 Minecraft videos. Every Saturday, if we can, do a Game Crafter video, as well as maybe do a little bit of work in Game Crafters off camera. I think the only time we're going to have off-camera Game Crafters work is if we're like crafting levels or like crafting things that I don't want to like show off. Oh shit. Oh shit. Like any secrets in like a level or a secret enemy that I don't want to like spoil until like the game is out fully. Stuff like that. But like most of the gameplay building aspect as well as the what do you call it? Coding and all that stuff, getting everything coded in. Mostly that stuff. So what was that again? Oh, right, that's her collar. All right, I forgot about that. Either off-camera game crafter stuff, or we get the next drawing for next week done with, depending on like what it is we need to do. It is going to be a little tricky, though. Alongside that, we also got Sonic Adventures 2 at the end of the month. That's another thing. Whew, man, we do got a lot to do. But that's fine, because it's always good to want to keep ourselves busy. It would be great if we had a more consistent schedule with this godforsaken job. We don't have to worry about any overtime whatsoever. A consistent 40 hours maximum. Maybe on time. Some days we get sent home early for something or whatever. And give us even more time and have even more space for certain things to get done with. I'm really hoping that by the time I get to the next major drawing, which is probably going to be early 2025, I think. Depending on, like, if I can keep up with 10 drawings a month and 2 hardcore mature drawings and whatnot. Depending on if I can do that, I don't think I had your phone drawn, do I? No, I didn't. Then we should have the next major drawing coming out then. Emphasis on should. Oops. We should be. Again, I'm not sure. It's, how you say, if we can keep things going the way that it's going, then yeah, we shouldn't really have any issues getting things done with. Should be able to finish up everything every month. Made our own little quota. Although the only quota here that we really have no choice but to stick with would be Subscribe Star, hardcore mature drawings and whatnot. But yeah, I still want to try to keep up with those self-proclaimed obligations. Because if I do that, you know, we keep on building up our community and whatnot. I have something special planned for Friday. Or not Friday, February. That's the set of words I'm looking for, not Friday. Friday? That's not what we're looking for. Oh, wait, right. I forgot about the... Right. Anyways. Yes, I've got something special planned for February. Which is not something I've seen done yet. I won't say what it is. I'm going to go on ahead and give all the information out when the time comes. But just know that there's something coming February. Something big. No, it's not going to be Paint Maze. I think that's going to take me, like, I don't know. It's either going to be a year or 6 months. Like, let's see. We're starting the creation of Paint Maze at the end of August. And if we're going to go off of video upload times, which is Wednesday, in this case, the end of Wednesday of August is essentially just like going into September, then we started making this game in September. So that means that, you know, September, 1 year full of creating it, that will be like the, I guess, the anniversary or startup. I don't think it's going to take that long. Like, I don't know. I need to keep up a steady pace. Like, this is the thing. I've done as much as I could in the researching department. I think the only thing that I really need to start learning now is making a loading screen. Just to add some more professional, like, what do you call it, to it. Figuring out how a loading screen works, because from what I've seen, it seems to be like some form of strange scene manipulation, but like it kind of defeats the purpose of making a loading screen, because if you're making a loading screen out of scenes, because if you're making it out of scenes, then you're literally deloading the other thing. But then you have to load the next thing in anyways, where it already automatically does that with a black screen. There has to be a way, which I'm sure there is, to deload everything on a scene transition, but have it replace the black screen with a loading screen. I'm sure there's a way. Unless having it go to a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Non-consequential scene, because you have to load any other assets, right? That's the thing I'm having a hard time trying to understand. You gotta load in the other assets of the other scene. You gotta deload the scene prior, and then you gotta load in the next scene while that one deloads. And that's essentially what it's doing. Maybe I'll figure out how to do that later tonight, because this is probably not going to take me that long. Well, let's see. How much are we in for this? 45 minutes? Okay, we'll see. Anyways, as I was saying before, the chances are there is a way to do that. I just need to figure it out. I will say, though, I learned how to do the whole binary save stuff. Now, I'm not going to say that I know, off the back of my head, how to write the code for it. I understand how the code works, but for me to be able to remember all of that particular type of information, it's not going to be easy. Believe me when I say that you're going to see me going back and forth between the practice files, instance, coding instance, and Paint Mazes instance on the first one. I'll even for each games after that. At least I know how to do what is it called? The input. Yes, if the parentheses input dot get key, and if you just want to have a single key press down, get key down, another parentheses with key code dot whatever letter or anything here. I don't know all the numbers here. Apparently alpha 1 is number 1, which is strange. That's like that, but I guess that's how it works. That's how it does. That's how it is. So, yeah. And then you close the parentheses off and have the brackets and whatnot, and do all your coding there. The first game I'm making is not anything physics-based. It's all literally just translations and detections and whatnot. That's all it really needs to be, because it's not a very complex system. No, it's not complex at all. Matter of fact, the only real complexity to it is trying to figure out how to splice certain things and codes together properly to get things to work. I will say, though, I'm a little disappointed that I can't do a very specific action that I can just... Because, there's a specific way you can go about, making your own, multiple save files. Making multiple save files. And, to do so, you gotta just have, the save and load commands be separate, and you have, the files names and the file format stuff. Binary formatter, then the formatter instance, and the string. I can't explain it. You're gonna have to see me creating it when the episode goes live. I don't know how long it'll be. Actually, I have no idea when that stuff will occur. We might make the database for it immediately, but we won't make the save states and the save system stuff fully just yet. Because we kind of do need to have a few statistics-based things that have to be saved per save file and whatnot. I'm trying to make this into a professional game, making auto saves and whatnot, and having it to where when you load the scene up, it plops you into the zone that you last left off on and the level that you last left off on, which is not that difficult. Now that I know how to teleport things to certain things, or I could teleport the thing to a thing, which like is hard to explain. Teleport things. I'll just leave it at that. Now that I know how to teleport things in there, it shouldn't be too much of a problem for me to have the player and the camera teleport to a certain spot. I, of course, would probably need to have like a system set up where the black screen doesn't fade away immediately, just to give the teleportation enough time, just enough time, because it's an instant thing, yes, but I don't know if you're just going to see like it's like a very faint, like wherever the camera and the player is in the screen thing. I don't know, I'm trying to explain this to you. There are just some things that I have been thinking about. I have been thinking about it. I'm a little upset that I haven't gotten too much experience in Reaper Studios, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm mostly worried about like sound effect creating and whatnot. Having to utilize my own mouth or any other objects I have that can like somewhat replicate the sounds that I want for this instead of having to grab a sample. But when it comes to the music making process, Reapers is somewhat similar to how most of Dream works. I'm sure it has all of like the little bits and information that you get in Dream when like you want to manipulate the file and whatnot. I'm sure it's there, I just gotta like look for all of them. But I got all the things that I do want to manipulate. And thanks to Spitfire Lab, I was able to get all the instruments I need. Or maybe I don't have all the instruments I need, but I have all the instruments I need to start off with Paint Maze. And that's what matters right now. All things considered, however, I have a little bit of experience in making music thanks to Dreams. I'm not the best, and I have a hard time trying to find the right instrument that I need, and trying to figure out a way to like manipulate its aspects and properties to make it sound exactly like the way I want it to sound. But I have experience in it. So I'm going to hopefully go off of that and whatnot in order for me to craft up some crap ton of music in this game. Like, there's 35 zones. I guess technically that one zone only has like 2 ambient track. Well, not zone. It's a part of without spoiling it, 2 ambient tracks and 2 zones in my mind. And then I gotta create. Oh, wait, I gotta go over to Nisha here. Yeah, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's wait. Is that the color or is that supposed to be hold on. Sweater, pants, shoes, shoe. Okay, no, that's the sweater color. Right, okay, I see. So yeah, like 35 zones. I can say that because, you don't know how many levels are in the zones, even though I don't really feel like that's a spoiler. That's going to be, if I can get like the whole progress thing loaded in as soon as the game starts, or as soon as you go into the main menu, whatever. Because that's only going to really like be a thing that needs to be on the menu. New game, we're going to have you select your save file, which allows you to have like the variable for save file, the global variable for save file, be equal to whatever it needs to be depending on the save file. That will determine which file gets saved, i.e. slot 1, 2, 3, or 4, which is going to be another thing. And that's going to be a bit of a pain, but, you know, that's what it is. And where is your makeup? Here we are. Anyways, with what we've got made, or what we've got learned, I should say, we haven't made anything yet. Well, no, we did make one thing. We got the basis going, we just gotta, like, start making it. But with what we've got learned, I think we should be good. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of extra knowledge in for, oh wait, that should probably be up. Rot. Okay, yeah, let's bring that up. Above the scarf, maybe? Scarf, yeah, sure, why not? As I was saying, I'm going to see if I can learn a little bit more before we fully start. And it's not like we have to learn it immediately, because the first thing we're doing is getting the gameplay stuff situated. That's more important. And thankfully with Paint Maze, once the gameplay is pretty much finished, once we figured out how to like get everything working properly, and we do a crap ton of bug testing for like certain scenes and whatnot. Hell, I might even have just a video where all it is just like bug testing and building like potential levels and figuring out like, is this going to be something we need to fix? How about this? Does that need fixing? And whatnot. There's going to be so many aspects to this that require so many bug fixes, or like not maybe bug fixes, because I highly doubt we're going to get it right the first time around. I have an understanding on how to do certain things. Whether or not I'm going to be able to splice those certain things together properly and without any issues is all really dependent on my abilities to think about how the hell that one function is going to affect another. Oh, man, it is going to be a pain in the ass, I must say. In order for us to be able to ensure that the gameplay stuff is set, we need to do a lot of bug testing. But once we finish the bug testing process of the gameplay, then we just start doing the menu process. We would start the main menu. We implement the save system then with all the statistics stats that we have once like the menu system is set up. Not just the start menu, but the actual menu system itself. I'm questioning whether, I guess what I could do is just grab all of the information that I need from most of that stuff. Like, I'll probably go over to Dreams and see what variables I had to, like, track so that I can use those if need beeth. But, yeah, that's the plan. So then once the menu is set, and once that save system is put in place, the only thing left that we would need to do to get to the home free part is build the entirety of the first zone. And only the first zone. I should definitely like set up some checklist to ensure that I can like keep track, basically, of what I need to place where. Because one thing's for certain, once we start building the zones, there's going to be so many zones that are in like most of the other zones, like Zone 6, or Zone 6A, you'll be able to see from a part in Zone 1, many parts in Zone 1 actually. So what I am going to have to do in making those zones is I have to make them while I am in the zone, not while I'm in a different zone. What's the best way to explain it? If I'm working on Zone 1, I cannot work on anything outside of Zone 1 until that is done. I will have a map made that will help me keep track of where things are supposed to be, and I'll have a general idea on how tall the terrain needs to be and where everything needs to be. That's a plan. I am definitely going to be building the world map first in Photoshop, utilizing the same instance that I have, 25 by 25 grid space, with the grids being next to each other, not interlocked, in order for me to essentially just go on ahead and just easily map out where everything needs to be. Because if you don't map out where everything needs to be, then it's going to be a mess trying to build everything. So it's good to want to map it out in a very easy to like change around instance before we start building the full system. But once we've tested out that the save and load system is working properly, all the statistics are being saved and everything is, where it's supposed to be, anytime you exit the level, the player goes back to the level, because when you're loading a scene, everything goes back to when the scene first starts. And I find that the only way to have things like change due to like certain aspects of the scene is to run a global variable that determines where the player will spawn. Zone is only really needed for when you exit the game and come back into it, or when you exit the game but you're like, no, yeah, I'll go a little bit more further, then you load game and you're brought back to where you last like quitting the game. Level is also really helpful in determining where the player teleports in the level department. That's something that we're going to have to test. Well, that's an easy test because in all actuality, entering the level, that particular variable will not change. So when we enter the level, essentially, once we complete the level or exit the level, whatever option happens first, once that occurs, well, we are teleported alongside the camera to the level that we entered. That's how we're going to do that system. Yeah, I know you can save positions and whatnot, but the less save files I need to work with, the better. Besides, it's not like that it's that big of an issue. There probably is going to be an instance where it's a void start. As soon as the scene starts, the player and the camera teleports, and that's the only time they need to teleport. It doesn't exactly need anything more than that. I think we'll have the teleportation bits be on the level things themselves, alongside whatever else the level thing needs to be for the camera to be able to move. Unless I want the camera... Well, we could... I don't know. It's going to be tricky, trying to figure out how I want to do certain things. Because I'm thinking either, zoom out from the level that you entered... Oh, that's probably easier. Zoom out from the level that you entered, or have it just fade back in the scene, and then it just shows the level and whatnot. It's not that difficult. I know the way I'm talking about it makes it sound difficult, but it's really easy. I went through the codes in my head. I figured out how I want to do the player, because the player doesn't move through the map instantly. The player moves through it like how Crash Bandicoot moves through the island. Only difference is the player is very small and it has to move through a big space, so we're going to have the player just move at breakneck speeds in order for us to be able to get around the map. I'm hoping that won't screw up the detection instance, but I'm hoping because of the way the movement system will work that the player won't move past the things that have a turn in the world map. See, that's the thing with a block space kind of area. Everything being all blocky, you can very easily have movement. I mean, I guess you would have a follow command and for Crash Bandicoot, I imagine they had a follow instance where they follow a specific line of path. Unless there are some games where you can create your own path and have the instance or game object follow it. Oh, by the way, that's whipped cream, if you're wondering. Of course, she would be the one eating whipped cream. And I need to go on ahead and grab the whipped cream color. So, whipped cream. Whoops, I should have combined those. As you can see by the whipped cream here. Let's see. But yes, I have everything set. I do have everything set to what I want to have it set to in my head. I just gotta make sure I can, actually make it. That's not where I want to go. I want to go to the scarf. Whew, man, it's going to be a challenge indeed. I don't think the menu is going to be that bad, though. The main menu system shouldn't be too difficult. All I really need to do for the main menu system is have instances that have the players move through the map, i.e. pressing new game, load game, quit game, then having the player move to these slots. In new game, they move to slots and choose what slots they want their game to be saved on, and then they select that and you move to the intro sequence no matter what. Load game, you click on the load game, it loads the files from your binary save file, or JSON, whatever the hell. I mean, I think I'm sticking with binary. I don't have any other reason not to, since this is a single player game. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, it loads all the data that you need. Let me tell you about how the loading works and loading data in this game and having it persist. Because to make a global variable, a variable that stays the same throughout an entire game session. to make a global variable, you have to make that variable static. You have to put it like, let's say, public static integer, and let's just say level progress, for instance. That's what you have to do when you are building something that requires a variable to stay the same throughout the scene. That's a given. That is kind of important. However, when you want to make a save system and whatnot, the problem you come across when it comes to static variable is that I don't exactly know the exact meaning as to what this word means, but you can instantiate, I think it's called, a static variable. I don't exactly remember what instantiating means. I gotta really look into that again. But the long and short of it is you can't grab the global variables and save that to a file. You can instantiate it, which is whatever that means. It kind of prevents you from being able to save the data that you have. So, what way is there to get around when making the save data system? Well, before I talk about that, let's first talk about how the variables need to be set in order for you to say, oh wait. Did I, or was that just rolled up? Hold on a second, I need to look up another drawing of Nakato. Ah, shitbird, where was that again? Let me look at Nakato's challenge for a second. Yeah, you had your, wait. I was looking in... Where was I looking at, actually? Why did I think she had a sleeve there? Okay, I did stupid. Hold on. No problems. The stupid can be fixed. You may think the stupid can't be fixed, but, yeah, okay. Anyways, back to what I was saying before. So this is how you would have your save data set up. You need to essentially set up something where all of your data will be stored and that can be saved on a file. And in this instance, you gotta I forgot what the exact words are. I think it's system.serializable or something around the lines of that. System.something. Serializable, I think, is the one that you're looking for. That makes all of the variables and all the data there able to be saved on a file. And then you gotta make, I forgot what this thing was, but you gotta do something where you write down set up the class for, I don't remember what that's called. But it's a thing where you set this, word thing up, you set this up that allows for you to be able to transfer this particular data over to a different set of data from a different script. This data that we're trying to transfer over is, let's just call this our save state script, which will have all of the variables that determine what can be, because for the first instance, those variables aren't changed in any way. The first variables that you set up that are saved in the file, all they do is just grab the current variables that the second set of variables have their data, and then save that or load that to the second set of variables. I know it's very complex, but it's not as difficult. Trust me, I'm not the brightest tool or sharpest tool in the shed. Case in point, that fuck up of a freaking, what do you call it? And I can somehow understand how it works. I just can't remember how to actually write down all the things. Anyways, as I was saying, the second set of variables are the ones that are going to change and allows for the first set of variables to grab the data that they have and save that to the file. So in that instance, also, is that supposed to be up one? Oh yeah, that's supposed to be up one. Right, I'll move this. So in that instance, you've got that set up. You've got your save set up. But the problem is you only have enough to be able to save unless you want to load the scene load the data every single time you enter a scene, which I don't know how that would screw anything up, but it probably would lag like the first instance. So unless you want to do that and kind of just like screw up certain aspects and whatnot in that department, then this is what you need to do to allow for that second variable's data and all the variables data. You need essentially 3 of the same variables. 1 variable on one script, I guess technically 2. I guess it doesn't exactly matter where that is, because it's serializable thing. Well, yeah, no, it doesn't exactly matter where it is. All that does is grab the data there and then allows for those to be saved through files. You can't save global data, so I don't think it matters if it goes here. I guess either way, it doesn't matter, because the third variable, so long as it's somewhere, you can still grab it, and all the second variable is doing is grabbing the third variable's data, and boom. And that's essentially it. Matter of fact, I don't even think the script needs to be in any scenes if it's static. I mean, I kind of did do the test there. I had it on a script that wasn't in the scene at all, but although mono behavior was turned off, so that might be a reason. Maybe I'll do a little test and make it like a separate script and see if it still grabs the data from a different scene or grabs it in general. If it doesn't grab it in general, then we could just leave it in the serializable script thing. Or we could put it in a save state script. I don't know if that would change anything if we just have it be set. I don't know. I'd have to check. But having it set to where it don't, yeah, whatever. Anyways, yes, that's what we have planned in mind. Whew, man. Oh, that's not the arm wrap, you fool. Yeah, as I was saying with the whole variable instance before I talk about how that system works, I need a drink. Well, let me fix these, and then I'll go get myself a drink. Whoopsis. Yes. You gotta shake this every now and again, because I don't think the thing fully dissolves when you put it in the fridge. I mean, I shook it before I put it in the fridge, but I don't think it really fully dissolves everything. Alright, anyways, as I was saying, in order for you to be able to put the second variable's data, because every time a scene starts, the variables in the first instance reset back to 0. So in order for that to not be the case, you need to, essentially, that's not where I was supposed to use that word. What you essentially need to do is, before you save the data, you gotta run a coroutine. I guess if you were to have this save state, you know, all that be active from a different script, all you would really need to do is just ensure that that is inside of like the game object script thing, and then grab the script and whatnot. What have you. So you need to grab the script from the save state if you're activating it from somewhere else. Oh wait, that's supposed to be underneath that. Almost forgot an important detail. Then you need to activate the coroutine. That essentially takes the save states, i.e. the second variable sets, and have them all of them. Because I don't know this yet fully, but I have a funny freaking feeling that it will, because when you save, all it is just save something with the word this. Like, you're grabbing the save systems instance, this, and then you got the save systems instance that's also taking the second variable's instance. So essentially this just means that you're saving all of the second variables. So if that makes any sense in my head, that would mean that if we were to only save a small set of variables, a lot of variables would be set to 0. So as much as this kind of sucks because of how many times you'd have to save it, also, where the fuck did I put your nails? Oh wait, unless that's it. Was that it? God, I don't even remember drawing your nails. Anyways, if you were to have it set up like that, where you're only saving one variable, or you're planning on only saving one variable, well, that doesn't work. What that's going to do instead is just go on ahead and delete your previous progress. Okay, that is your nails. From the other variables that you aren't planning on changing in the save instance, and then you're back to square one. That's not what you want. So in this instance, all of the variables that you are saving, doesn't matter how minute it is, all of the variables, you have to run that coroutine. You have no choice but to run that, and have all of those variables equal to the global variable variation, that of which is the variables that you are saving also that, hold on a second. Oh, right. I can move the nails up here. And then after all of those variables have been updated, you run the save state system, and then boom, all of the global variables information that transferred to the second set of variables have now been saved to the first set of variables that you're able to store within a file. This does sound confusing, but it's not that hard. I think the only hard part when it comes to making the save system and the load system is figuring out what the hell set of codes you need to do to actually make it. If you don't know how to actually get the code set, then you're going to have a hard time. I know I'm only learning like the vitally essential instances for Paint Maze and only Paint Maze. But the entire process of this Unity C# like learning, process, making the games now with Unity instead of Game Maker, the only thing here that we're focusing on right now is learning more about Unity as we make more games. I'm not going to be sticking to the same old game. Oh wait, I used the wrong colors. We are going to be varying it up a bit. And the next game, being Labyrinth, is definitely different. Although similar in nature to an extent, but a huge difference because it actually has like models, 3D models that we plan on using. Labyrinth was a 2D game. Had a lot of issues that I'm still kind of annoyed that I just let slide. Nothing like bug related wise. Everything kind of like ran perfectly. I think there was only like one bug instance where if you press up and right while in the corner, directly in the corner, the player goes inside of the wall and then kills themselves. Because of the whole like the wall instance, when a player gets pushed into it, they die. That's how I don't know how the hell I'm going to have the crusher set for freaking Unity and all that stuff. That's going to be a bit of a pain, actually. It's funny. I haven't even gotten started on Paint Maze fully yet. And I'm already trying to think about how I'm going to run certain codes in the next game, and then the next games afterwards. I feel like the only games that I'm going to have a really difficult time trying to figure out properly is anything that has not open world, but similar to you're going through an entire what's the word? An entire area where you're confined to one space, but there's no loading screens in between. There's no fast travel either. It's sort of like Resident Evil. Yes, something like that. The first three, the remakes, that's the word I'm looking for. Because the originals do have loading screens. And that's what I want to try to do. At some point. Obviously we're not anywhere near that point yet. There's still so much more that we need to learn. I would like to get to that point soon. And I'll have that be separate. It would be cool if we can get to that point. But that's still many years to come. Right now we're just focusing on trying to learn Unity, getting the basics down. And then once we can complete Paint Maze and sell it fully as a game, well, then we continue making more games and continue learning. That really is all there is to it. I am curious to see what the world map of this game is going to look like. That is going to be interesting. Like, I take all the grid space that I have, it's going to take ages to like fully have it all set in there. Oh wait, is that supposed to be underneath that? I guess that is. Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. Wait a minute. Ah, yes, that's right. Okay, that's short 1C apparently. So, yeah. Many things ahead of us. Many things indeed. It's a process. But I think I can manage. Think about all the things that... Shitberg. You are technically supposed to be behind that. I mean, I guess I could probably just put the jacket... Well, there's not too much here that I have to put behind, so maybe this shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, just put the jacket and whatnot above the hand. Or the thumb. Ooh, and the nails, don't forget the nail. Yeah, well, anyways. It's, I can't wait, honestly. Today is Wednesday, as it stands. Only a few days left until we start making the video. I already got OBS set for it. I don't exactly know how much more that I have to do after that. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Okay, I'm gonna just connect all of these and move them all above the hand. Instead of struggling to try to like move that to where it needs to be properly. So I could just do that, stay to the top side and just move it. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, this is going to be great. August has been quite a shitty month with so many annoyances happening so close together. Patreon being a bunch of prudes and this job I'm working at being annoying in of itself. So hopefully things will start to change around. We are getting to... Oops. We're getting somewhere here. How close are we getting to that somewhere? I don't know yet. We'll see. Okay, I think that's Nakato all finished and taken care of. Should I make her more muscular? She's further away. If I make it any more bigger, it's going to look more unnatural, so I guess that's fine. Unless... Oh, wait, yeah. Although she is back more. Okay, hold on. I am going to do that, actually. I just don't know why accidentally making her breasts smaller than actually is supposed to be. Plus, the bigger they can be, the closer it looks to matching the proportions correctly, as you can clearly tell by the way this looks. Guess that one doesn't matter too much. That should be good, question mark? Move this around. Yeah, some of these is not right. Proportion's not right. Now I gotta fix it. Then after that, we go over to Divya. Go over to this one. Just grab this one. Well, anyways, we've got our work cut out for us going into September. But I'm confident. Yeah, that's much better. I'm confident in our abilities. We have, we've been keeping up quite well. And we don't have anything too massive. I guess the only massive thing we have to worry about. How long have we had so far? An hour and 24. Okay, not bad. Well, if I want to get like shading and texturing done within one video. I'll see how long that takes. I still haven't finished the coloring up. Anyways, yeah. What'd you make a noise for, Cadillac? Since we don't have too many major drawings ahead of us, and the next major drawing is happening in 2025, I think we're on a pretty good track here. There's still going to be some complex drawings that we'll have to be done with before we really like start doing anything else. Oof, that's a given. But we shouldn't have to worry about it too much. I'm hoping. We'll see what happens. Oh God, I gotta say, it's very strange how we've got so much stuff planned. When before we were just like keeping up with like the basic essentials and whatnot. Now we got YouTube, and we got all these drawings. Like earlier into the year, like we were doing this the whole time, but it was like it wasn't that bad. Like now it's got to a point where it's like so much. There's so much to do, and it's great. So much that we get to work on and whatnot. I still wish I didn't have to deal with the nonsense of like, well, you know, Patreon being a douche. I can't necessarily stick with something that's gonna go on ahead and continue to limit all of my creative natures. That's why I'm moving over to Subscribe Star. We kind of have to move over to Subscribe Star because they seem a lot more lenient when it comes to that kind of stuff. Matter of fact, from what I've read, there's not too much there that we have to worry about. And I mean, yeah, it's like good. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to talk a bit more so I get the cat's picture here. Get another good one. Her eyes just slightly open. I think. I can just see your eye looking at me. Oh, now you're looking up. It's fine. I got my pictures. But, yes. We got ourselves a backup plan, thankfully. It's way better than having to be worried that one day all of what we worked for is just going to be like, no, you gotta delete that because this is not a part of a fucking guideline. And be like, alright, you know what, it's time to move while we're like hundreds of drawings in. Oof. I don't like that stuff. I don't like when it's like so restrictive. No, or piercing, I should call this. In a world where there are just so many prudes that just can't seem to stand not safe for work artists, it really is annoying having to deal with such self-righteous behavior when it comes to those who try their damnedest to remove anything porn-related. I'm not talking about Patreon as a whole, because they got their guideline, which makes sense. I think all of it comes from PayPal just being prudish. But you just got like some of those people who are like on this like self-proclaimed crusade to like remove the devil's influence of all the porn and whatnot. Bitch, don't put your fucking religious shit in my pleasure hole. That didn't sound right, but you get what I mean. I don't share the same beliefs you do. Now stop trying to conform me to your ways and let me just enjoy my life. And instead of just being all like, your soul will be condemned for all of eternity, just be like, let me just find out the hard way. I don't fucking care if it exists or not. I just want to have fun. And who knows, maybe Satan's a cool dude. Who knows? Maybe he's a big fan, because I'm going to probably make a very difficult... Well, if that one level in Labyrinth is anything to go about, There's probably going to be some people who are going to make memes are going to be like, the devils would be like, I'm a big fan, when they just have like a screenshot of the level. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but I can say this much for a fact. When I made that level first in the original Labyrinth, I say that original, but despite the fact I haven't actually gotten to making it, when I made that level, it was way harder. The level before was way more difficult. And I had to reduce some numbers and whatnot, but not too much to where it was too easy, because it's not supposed to be easy. Because it's essentially the last level. Well, last level. If you don't count the bonus levels after that. And then, well, despite the fact that we haven't really made this and this, we do want to make it at some point. But, despite the fact that we haven't made this in Classics, Secret Zone. The Classic one, completing all the levels do is just get you to a secret level, which you have to complete the final bonus level in the station again, which I am definitely going to change, because that's not cool. Oof, man. I say, though, I have no idea if I'm ever going to actually be able to complete that again. It's a pain in the ass. Which makes me wonder if I should try. I mean, I might not have to fix it too much, because here's the thing. Since we're going to be remaking this game sometime in the future, maybe next year, depending on how long it takes for me to get Paint Maze done with, if we make this game in the future, there's going to be obviously a few things changing in it. Like, the way, like, the more, like, randomized enemy movements work, that's going to change. That's going to be slightly predictable, but still has a random element to it, so they don't, like, stay stuck in a certain path. Like a chance to move in one direction, but a greater chance to move forward, so it's not, like, completely and utterly random, but they can still, like, cut you off, or... We'll see what happens. Because in the original the original Labyrinth, original Paint Maze was literally just me and MS Paint making mazes and giving them freaking functions when I was like, I don't know how old I was. Probably 6. I wouldn't say 2. Definitely not 2, because I don't think we had computers at that time. But I definitely was a kid when I was making it. Anyways, Labyrinth. We're not talking about the other one, we're talking about Labyrinth. The enemies there moved randomly. A lot of the frustration comes from randomness in that department, which I am going to try to nullify a little bit. We're still going to have random, like, movements, because otherwise how the hell are enemies going to move throughout the map? But aside from that level of randomness, it's going to be like that, because in original, it was literally just like a 1 in 5 chance for the enemy to move in either direction. And sometimes they would move, sometimes they would get stuck in a dead-end area trying to, like, move in the opposite direction, or corner, trying to move in the opposite direction. Whereas this, we're going to have the enemies just constantly moving, which theoretically might make them more annoying. I mean, in the original Labyrinth, there were still the fact that the enemies can, like, block off the paths. But sometimes the enemies will get, like, stuck in a path and stay there for, like, 80% of the level, allowing for you to do as much as you need to ensure you don't get killed by it and complete the level. Oof. But, yeah, there was a lot of frustration with the enemies, and there is still frustration. So I'm hoping to change that. I am really hoping to change that once we start making the new version of it in Unity. 3D aspect well, models and whatnot. It's still going to look like somewhat of a top-down, but I'm going to try to have it almost match and replicate what it was in the original. Think of it like how the Pac-Man stuff looks like in the 3D, the more 3D aspect. But it's like top-down and whatnot. Not really top-down fully, but it's like top slightly tilted downwards. Man, I wish I could show you the game. Play it for you, but I want to save that. I want to save that until we get Paint Maze finished. Like, here's the plan with what we've got for this first season of Game Crafters. Our objective is to spend the entirety of the first season of Game Crafters making Paint Maze. Then, once Paint Maze is made, and once I test it off camera and make sure that everything is working as fine as I can make it work, hopefully, then we're going to go on ahead and publish that, and then I'm going to replace Game Crafters temporarily with Paint Maze as I play it all for you. So think of it like a walkthrough guide by the developers themselves, kind of. I mean, you do kind of have to have like a walkthrough guide. Anybody who's like having a hard time playing a game, they would look up a walkthrough, right? So me making the walkthrough myself, yeah, that makes sense. Also just showcasing the game. And also this is the kind of game that you really have to play to enjoy. But you can also enjoy watching other people play it and like, you know, suffer in their suffering when they get to a very difficult part of the level. I'm sure there are going to be difficult levels in Paint Maze. I don't know exactly where those levels will be. I mean, I know where some of them are going to be. And I know certain mechanics that are going to be very frustrating trying to, what do I call that, ears? And there's going to be certain mechanics that are going to be very frustrating, or combined mechanics that are going to be very frustrating. I think most of the mechanics by themselves are not that bad. I think radiation might be the only mechanic in the game, the only like game object that will be very tricky and annoying to try to work through. It's like an invisible maze, kind of. Except you can go through the walls, but it might potentially get you killed the longer you're exposed into the more deeper radiation points. You'll see what I mean when we make it. But as it stands right now, most of the game objects by themselves aren't that frustrating. The way the game objects like combine and work together, like one game object with an enemy, now that one is going to be frustrating. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a particular, well, a couple of them are particular objects that limit your movement in some way, shape, or form. One of them is more straightforward, another one of them is kind of unique in how it limits your movements. Even if technically it doesn't make sense to implement something like that. I mean, I think most people, when it comes to making mechanics, will be like, nah, that mechanic ain't going to do any good. And I'll be like, nah, let's see how this works. We'll see how this works, build upon it, and if it's a good mechanic, it's a good mechanic. And we'll implement it in. Even if it's only used like once or twice, I'm still going to implement it in this level. Just because. And I think that's what most of freaking Labyrinth is, to an extent. With Labyrinth, there's a few obstacles that are only used like once or twice throughout like a large majority of the levels. Variations of certain randomized enemies and whatnot. But most other mechanics only use like once, maybe a few times. I do say it is it was quite interesting, because I did play it again not too long ago. I had to enter God mode, and I also had to fucking remember what God mode was. There was like a cheat system that I had in place, essentially as a way for me to be able to like access all of those levels. I don't even think I had like the presence of mind to like make the cheats for like accessing it in the future. I mean, I think I had some idea that I wanted to like remake it when I had more experience, and that's why I kind of like had it saved. Followed by the what do you call it, department of being able to access all of the levels in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, that's what we have set. And it makes sense. It does make sense that I had that set up like that. So, yeah, okay, why did I have it like this? We can have it like this, no problem. I'm gonna try to complete the last level when we make the video of us playing it. No promises, though. The last level is literal pain. Oh yeah, I was talking about like the plan that I have. Game Crafter's first season, we make Paint Maze, and after Paint Maze is made and sold, we make a walkthrough or a playthrough of our own game. And then complete that 100%. Do I want to go for 100% achievements? I don't know, maybe. I mean, it's still good to want to like constantly try to play it and like go through it properly, right? Even after, oops, you're not supposed to go there. You're supposed to go here. All in all, once we've finished up the playthrough of Paint Maze, which probably isn't going to take that long, but we'll see. Once we finish up the playthrough, we're going to do a playthrough of Classic Labyrinth. And then the next season, after I got a little bit more experience in Blender, I mean, I think that's a good thing. We're going to go on ahead and try to get some Blender experience in. I think what we're going to try to do is like make the first, not the first level, I guess, yeah, the first level's models and whatnot, as well as like the menu. Like, there's only going to be one menu in this, outside of like the pause menu. But we're going to make those models. Oh, wait a minute. You're not supposed to be here. Whoops. You're supposed to be over here. What you looking at? He meows and walks forward a little bit and puffs chest out and looks up at me. What are you trying to do, cat? Assert dominance? That's not working. And now you're just picking your food out and eating it on the floor again. Ugh. I don't get you, cat. I don't get you. Just because you have thumbs doesn't mean you should pick your food out of your dish. She's doing it again. Why do you keep doing that, cat? Alright, anyways, this is probably just going to be a darker version of that, so like 66. Alright, and now for the whipped cream. Okay, now we can go here. Can 1. I probably should make this a little bit more out. That's actually the perfect color for that. Try to guess what can whipped cream this is. I certainly can't. And you're probably wondering why I can't. Well, you see, son, I only looked up like whipped cream images. I didn't look up the names. I was like, okay, that looks like the perfect thing for whipped cream. So yeah, sure, I could do that. That's not the color I want. Or do I want to go for 70? Nah, 70 is too much. 80. Well, anywho's and wents. Oh yeah, it does have to be like that because we also want to get the whipped cream itself in here. Whip. Well, it's whipped. Let's call it whipped cream. Or is it whipped or whip? I don't remember. Whip or whipped cream. Ah, yes, of course. Wait, what? You whip cream until it becomes whipped cream, and that's what you should write on the menu as it says whipped cream on the thing here, and not whipped cream. But, I don't know. English is annoying sometimes. So, yes, okay, and now the only thing left that we need to do for Tasha is to draw her barista outfit, which I think is going to be a mix of brown and green. Sure, why not? Brown and green. Actually, hold on. I should have that underneath her arm. So it would be something like this, right? Yeah, so go to the shirt, underneath that. We're almost done with the coloring process. The neck needs to be moved down then, apparently. Okay, no problem. Just move the neck down. Not down that far. And now have that be above. Okay, now this I can save. This is what I can save. I'll have that be a darker brown. Not darker, a little bit more red. Yeah, like that. And then the green. Is this the green I want? Maybe. Let's see, shall we? Actually, yeah. Surprisingly, first try. And now I need more straps. I guess I could just put this on this layer, actually. And boom. I think that's the coloring process for the characters done with. Good, great. We're making good progress. But before I start doing anything, well, first off, I gotta save Tasha's swatch. There it is. Second off, I need to switch to a different swatch. I'm gonna have to switch to basic bitch swatch because I don't exactly have all the things that I need. And now I'm gonna save the aspects of the cafe's color. Even this right here. Oh, that's more of a stool. Wait, is that the same as that? Hold on. Chair. I'll save the chair for now. Or why did I call that a couch? That's a chair. Unless those are technically called couches. Now, stool. Stool. Are these the same? Did I accidentally make these the same? It's literally only just, one is 168 in the red scale, and the other one is 171 in the frickin', right, okay, I guess that means that we don't really need, I guess I could just put this into the table slot then, table 3, and I guess we don't even have to do anything with that. We could just leave that as is because it's so minute. It's literally the same thing. We don't have to do anything with it. All right, cool, great, fantastic. Although I should probably remove the stools, or at least swap the stools in different spots so that the red isn't completely next to it. Was that you meowing? I thought I heard meowing, but I wasn't too sure. Oh, maybe that wasn't meowing. Alright, I'm going to drink before I get the rest of the swatches. Ah, damn it. Well, at least that was only on my pants. God damn it, get the hell off of me. Alright, let's see. So now we need to grab the copycat's color smudges. Coffee cup. I'll just go ahead and save or copy that text so I don't have to keep writing it. I'll grab it from you since it's much easier and much bigger. Coffee cup, not C, fool. Coffee cup 4. Coffee cup 5. And the last coffee cup. Coffee cup 6. And there's one more. I'm just going to call it whipped cream. It doesn't matter. It's all in the layer department. That's all that matters. Number 2. That's also numbered, right? Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense for it not to be numbered. Number 3. Number 4. That's 5, you fool. And now number 5. Ooh, great. Fantastic. Do I want to have a little bit of whipped cream inside of here, or should this just be, no, we'll have, well, actually, wait, hold on. We'll have a coffee here. Look at that. Woo-wee, look at that, sweet beans. Sound like, that, sombrero fast-moving, jittery, coffee man. I was going to say Mexican, but I don't know if he actually... Oh, well, it's a sombrero. It kind of makes sense that he would be Mexican, right? But then again, I don't know. This is Kids Next Door we're talking about. An old cartoon show. So, a lot of outdated stuff there. I'm not fully outdated. Now, they did have that one episode, Future... This is the color I want for the coffee. Oh yeah, sweet coffee, I guess. Not full-on black coffee. I prefer sweet things. Alright, let's see. I think that's everything. I had to save the apron swatch for what's-her-name, Tasha. So now... I'll just call it Tasha's Cafe, even if she doesn't actually own it. Okay, Jesus Christ, 2 hours into this and the only thing left now is the shade and texture. Oof. Although maybe it won't be that bad. Let's see. The coloring process took a long time because of how much characters we had to, like, color in and make layers for, which makes sense. We might not have to take too long on this department. I guess we'll find out. It's not easy being cheesy, and the second that, it's a lot of freaking work to just do all of this goddamn shading and whatnot, but not as much as trying to color in thousands of layers. Well, maybe not thousands. I don't know how many layers this is. I honestly have no idea how many layers this is. I've worked with like thousands of layers before, and obviously I have been able to save them all in one document. Am I going to load that up? No, that's going to take minutes, and I don't really want to waste time. But as I was saying before, it is a rather lengthy process trying to get as much of the coloring in as we can. Plus, we did kind of like waste some time here. Just talking about some stuff and whatnot. Right, it being Wednesday, I guess I could probably talk about some stuff with work and whatnot. I was lucky enough to be sent home early because apparently we didn't have enough staff to run 3 freaking lines somehow. So I got, right now it's 10, 10:04, 10:05, whatever the actual time is, because this time doesn't freaking match the time it's supposed to be. And we definitely did get a couple of hours in. We got a huge head start. Yeah, we did. I'm going to do a little bit more shading on this side, because it didn't look like it did much shading here. Oops, that's going to be brighter. So, yeah, we got extra time today, which is great. Because if I can get this done with, and I take a little break, I'll go on ahead and get the outline done with. And then we'll probably finish up the drawing tomorrow on Thursday, but because of the way we have things set, we can't post it until Sunday. Which is fine, because this is how things go now. If I were to post it anywhere other than next week, then that would mean that I would have to draw 2 drawings into next week, which I guess technically would work just fine, maybe? But it would be more preferable if I can ensure that I don't need to worry about doing another drawing next week. That's going to be a thing that's going to be frequent as of recent limitation periods. As the end of this has to go by and all the stuff that we've just made and have been holding off on posting and publishing, it seems to be that we're changing how we post stuff. Usually when I get a drawing done with, I post it immediately if I have the time. Oh, long ago, that's what I used to do, regardless if I had the time or not. Long ago, it only took me a day to make some drawings. But we're getting to a point now where a lot of drawings are becoming more complex. What you want? Some drawings aren't complex. Those are the ones that usually only take 1 day. 1 day, I mean. Drawings like this one, on the other hand, takes a while. Like, let me see here. I started the outlining process, I think Sunday, and I got the rest of it finished on Monday. And now we're getting to the coloring process here on Tuesday. Because of our extra time, we'll have enough time to get the outline done with today. And then Wednesday, we gotta go on ahead and get the rest of the drawing finished. So that would be Sunday, well, it's a small amount of progress. So 3 to 4 days. The time frame is around that amount right there. The entire process will take 3 to 4 days, probably mostly close to 4, because we did a small amount on the first day, and we got extra time on Tuesday. So yeah, 4. It would have taken 4 days to get this done with, which, due to the fact that we have to, we would have to post this on like a Wednesday if we were to complete it on that 1 week. And then there's the whole, well, don't forget, we are like drawing 7 girls here. And we might draw more characters as background NPCs. I kind of want to, because we actually do have time. But I don't know. I'm Matt, but I don't know if I killed it. It was like this small. Why am I trying to kill something so small? Bloodlust. Anyways, as I was saying before, if I were to start this drawing next week as opposed to this week, once everything got finished pretty early on, I mean, the Void, we finished that last week, and then we got the Burst Cat done with on a Sunday, on the same week that we posted the Void on. But if it weren't like that, and if we had no choice but to get the thing done with or started last week instead, then that would mean we would have barely any time to get the second drawing done with. So yeah, there's still going to be some drawings that need to get like a head start, I guess, going into next week or like a couple. Well, no, I don't think we need too many things unless it's a major drawing a couple weeks prior. The only other major drawing that I can think of that might take like longer than that during like an entire monthly process is the one that's going to come around words. That's going to come somewhere around the lines of March 2025, which we're going to have to, I'm probably going to get a head start as soon as the drawing that needs to be made before that is made. trust me, it's going to be a large drawing. It's best for us to get our hands on that early. And if we do finish it earlier than, we thought we would, then that's great. But, yeah, it's a procedure. It is indeed a procedure. We still got time, though. Once 2023 ends, 2 years, or once 2022 ends, 2 years and 3 months. Actually, okay, September's starting, so 2 years and 7 months from now is when that drawing is due. And it's a doozy. Oh, wait, I should probably do this one first, shouldn't I? It is no joke. But, yeah. It's how it is. We get that done with, we get everything we need to get done with while we're doing that one. And, I don't know what else to say. It's going to be a lot of work. And the same applies to any drawings that have a little bit more effort that needs to be put into it. Any drawings with a lot of characters, with a lot of their designs shown. Or any drawings with a lot of characters in general. Drawing the face does take some time. I don't know how much time exactly. Sometimes it might take like 10 minutes, other times it'll take like 30 minutes. It depends, really. Needless to say, it's a rather lengthy process. I think I got everything here. Let me do a little bit more shading. There we go. Alright, I'm going to do Beverly next. Oh god, I'm so tired. Anyways, yeah. What more is there to talk about? Oh yeah, they haven't. They don't have a Saturday on the schedule yet, but we'll know come Thursday. It will be the most likely the next episode or next part of this episode, I should say, whether or not they have it up. I think no matter what, I'm not coming in. I have much to do. It's more important than having fucking be forced to work another fucking Saturday. So it is better to just use up a point, or if I get lucky enough to get rid of it, use up a point, and then we can continue doing what we do best, creating. But in a different format, in a game format. Can't just needing the blanket now. It's going to be a very good day, Saturday. No matter what happens, I will not be dealing with any more nonsense. So, with that being said, let's just hope this goes well. We know that this drawing is going to be coming out on a Sunday. Well, I know. By the time this goes out, you all will already know. I know it's coming out on a Sunday. So, yeah. It comes out on a Sunday. And that's where we're going to go on ahead. And, well, that's when we're going to already have the video recorded. I mean, I'm too tired to talk. Saturday's when it's going to be recorded. 3 to 4 hours. We'll see how long we go. I'm quite interested to see in how many gameplay objects I'm going to get made. Shouldn't take too long, I don't think. Well, in my head, I don't think it's going to take too long. 2 hours in. Oh, she's trying to get under the blanket now. I mean, yeah, it really shouldn't take too long. If I know all the code that I need to put in, The only thing I'm probably going to have difficulties with is trying to figure out what certain way the code has to go in order for things to run properly. I have an idea on how I want to do most things. So, provided I'm able to nail those on the first attempt, or at the very least nail the process on the first attempt, because I'm not going to nail it on the first attempt. Even if everything goes the way I think I want it to go, I gotta have it. I need a specific order for things to go. If I have everything I need laid out, I need to get a specific order for it to fully work properly. My head. Lot-headed. Working on this all freaking day. I'm going to definitely take a break, though, after the video's done. But my god, how long is it going to take to get this shading done with? The shading process is a little bit tedious sometimes. But it has to be expected. It is indeed to be expected. Alright, let's see. Okay, so now we got this stuff over here. And then we got this stuff, the thumb up here. As well as we can make it look. And then we got this stuff over here. Alright, anyways, what more is there to talk about? I'm hoping we can get the foundations in Minecraft city that we're building, or town, whatever you want to call it, done with this Friday. I'm hoping. The past me don't know, but future me will know when the video goes out. Because there's not too much that I know of that we have to get done with at the moment. I mean, if you saw the video, you will know. You will know where we are at in the video, in the build. And you will see that we are actually a relatively decent distance into it. Oh, there's still more. And there's the backside area that we gotta get set. Then we gotta get the harbor area fully set. The bridge and all. And then that's essentially it. Once we get like the foundation set, we'll start building the roads. Get all the gravel and sand that we need. At that point, I'll just build. And we gotta build the sidewalks. And we gotta build the lamp posts. And then after the lamp posts and everything for the bridge, well, yeah, the bridges, the roads, and all that stuff is set. Even the alleyways alongside the, so I'll do this first. Alongside the docks, boardwalks, and the river. After, like, the basic foundation is all placed, then we go on ahead and start building buildings. And the building part of the village or town or city arc, which technically the first 3 seasons is the home arc, where we build our home. So I guess it could be the next 3 seasons is just the city arc, where we build our city, town. Again, I don't know that a city is like tall buildings, not like very small houses and whatnot. Well, not really very small. So I guess we're technically building a town. Matter of fact, Google, What's the difference between a city and a town? Town is a populated area with fixed boundaries and a local government. A city is a large or important town. Well, that's conflicting. Huh. Because I guess technically our town is a populated or soon to be populated area with fixed boundaries, but there is no local government in it. I mean, like, there's no government in our town anyways. It's just villagers and iron golems and a cat. And a city is a large or important town. I mean, it is important. And it did do the definition of town. So I guess we are building a city. Oh wait, I almost forgot about your fucking other arm. Are you kidding me, brain? This is the problem. When there's so many layers, you're gonna eventually forget some. So yes, I guess by the definition of that, we are building a town. It's a large one. The only thing that's, like, confusing is it is boundaries. It's a wall. But again, that is pretty big. I mean, a block is a meter. And if you were to, like, try to, like, do a measurement of the entire town that we have, I don't know, you might be able to get something to, like, tell you that this is about the size of a regular old city. It's large, that's for certain. At least large to us. We don't have cars, we just have horses. I imagine it takes like a good solid minute to, like, ride horseback from one end of the city to another. Especially since the roads aren't, like, straight through. Technically, the roads are kind of like in a string pattern almost, with some bits and pieces and crossing the center from what we've got so far. So there's that. But, other than that, I guess we're building a city. But, yeah, it is an important city. It's where all of our trades will be going into, and all of our advanced enchantment stuff will be going into. That's kind of the major importance to the city. Is to ensure that we have just a crap ton of trades. Because if we don't have a crap ton of trades, then, well, we can't get mending or any other enchantments for that matter. Well, though, I guess we could... Oh, let me just double check to make sure that you have been all shaded in properly. I guess technically we could get all the enchantments we need through different means. But also, I guess it might be a better idea to, like, just build a city in general to get, like, a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Experience from trading with villagers, doing a lot of breeding stuff. We don't have the best mob farm, that's for certain. I feel like the only way to make the best mob farm is to go into the end and make an Enderman farm. I guess another option would be to make a creeper farm, but I feel like that's more so late into the game. Don't know how late, though. I think I stated I wanted I don't think I stated on video, but myself, I think I stated that I wanted to get the flying tower finished and made with the flying machine stuff unlocked. The only way to fully unlock the flying machine stuff is to gain access to the Slime Coliseum, which I guess, technically speaking, we can still build it to be this, well, I'm not sure, like, can I, like, just build a dome surrounding the Coliseum with faint enough lighting surrounding a lot of the area to ensure that the light is only underneath 7, or above 0, but underneath 7, and still have the mobs, like, spawn in there. because I think that might be the best way for me to be able to get my hands on slime in the swamps outside of the slime chunk that I have in my base currently. Because I still want to build a slime coliseum. That is something I want to build. I just have to learn how to build it in a way to where it's dark enough for slime to spawn, but not dark enough for any other mobs to spawn. That's going to be the tricky part. Because according to the wiki, slime will only spawn when light levels are below 7. Any other mobs, they can't spawn. Because they need 0. Although I imagine that they're going to change that soon at some point, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. Because then all we just have to do is like make the freaking slime coliseum a dark place. We get night vision potion on. Or a slime coliseum, something in the past, we get ourselves a slime chunk instead. Technically, we could just build an automatic slime chunk generating system or whatnot. We technically could. But I feel like we should wait. We should wait until we get a little bit further into the game. Right now, from rags to riches. That's our main goal here. We work hard on trying to build the things that we need to build to get us unlocking the things that we need for our late game stuff. And then boom. I know most of y'all are probably like, why don't you go to the end? Go to the end? Mine, I'll be like, nah, the end can wait. We gotta save the build. Besides, I want to go into the end with all netherite. Just for shits and giggles. Even if we don't necessarily need it, I kind of want to go into the end with all netherite. And also, I just want to like focus primarily on building. That's what my series is about mostly, is just building. Soon we're going to have to like branch off from most of that, but I don't know. I don't know, it depends. There are some exploration part. Oh, right, I forgot your name. And I forgot most of your fingers, right? How could I forget? No, don't save. I already have that saved. Yeah. Let's replace this with Adela. And now we gotta do not the stupid, but the good. Also, where did I... Your nails must be your makeup, right? Yeah. Okay, good, great, fantastic. Go over to here. And now for the phone. Fingers. I don't know which one this is. I think this is 1. I think this is the only one that's 1. Or this is 2. No, it's 1. Good. Good. Fantastic. See what I mean? Outside of just forgetting to shade things, you sometimes forget to color things in. Kinda gets annoying, not gonna lie. Well, we fixed it, and that's what matters. Anyways, yeah, as I was saying before, we do focus more on building in Minecraft than we do on anything else. Building and landscaping. We haven't really bothered exploring that much. The only instance where we explored is when we needed to find a freaking desert, but was barely able to find one. That still annoys me to this day. Trying to locate that damn desert. How the hell you expect me to try to locate a desert? Oof. I kind of wish Minecraft had like a vanilla biome compass or something. Trying to get ourselves the biomes that we need. Maybe have that be a very special loot in whatever the hell the Warden's Dimension is, assuming that that thing there is a portal. Which it better be a portal. It kind of makes no sense for it to not be a portal, you know? It looks so Portal-esque. Oh god, what if that's not a portal to a dimension, but a portal to a boss fight? Like, you perform, like, something in the portal, and the thing opens up. But then you're just pushed back far, knocked back whatever. Warden spawns are prevented, because I'm assuming that if you get pushed back and hit a streaker during this event, you're just not going to have a fun time fighting this thing. And then out of it comes a freaking warden-looking, or like a mob that, boss mob that looks like it's some form of warden, and then you're fighting that. What if that's what that is? I mean, I don't know. Do we want another dimension, or do we just want a boss fight? Do we want like a Destroyer-esque boss fight? Similar to how Borderlands did it. The only thing I'd be worried about is whether or not this boss fight that we take on has similar attacks to the Warden, where you can't block its freaking shockwave stuff. Unless it does the shockwave every so often, and it's not as frequent as the Warden, so you have no choice but to take damage from it. So that means you have to have like some form of healing item on you. I don't know. Oh, it's not like any of the bosses in Minecraft are that like complex. Like, this is the bosses that we've got in Minecraft that are simplistic as all hell. You got the dragon that just flies around the end. It has a fireball attack, and it has a charge attack. Then you've got the perched state where it does its fire breath attack. Which is essentially just, that's just 3 attacks right there. Then you've got the Wither, which does have 2 phases. Unlike the Ender Dragon, which only has 1 phase, technically. The Wither has 2 phases. It's ranged instance, where it essentially shoots 2 different types of skulls out of it. And then it goes over towards the player once it's in its 2nd phase. And goes into melee mode, while still also shooting things out. With that being said, that's like what? Melee, 2 different types of ranged attacks. Again, 3 different types of attacks. But the major difference here is that the Wither goes after everything. And destroys more of your environment. So, with that being said, I mean, I wouldn't really have any high hopes if they do have a boss fight for the Warden. Not the Warden, the Portal boss fight, if they do that. Because, like, what kind of attacks would they have? Obviously, they would have the Sonic Boom attack. And they would obviously have to have, like, a melee attack if you get too close to it in certain, like, instances. But its attacks should be telegraphed so that you know you can escape it. Essentially, it does the same amount of damage that the Warden does. So you definitely need to get Netherite with full Prot 4 on it. And its range attacks are more so, I don't know if it should be just Sonic Booms, but it should have more different types of range attacks and whatnot. Maybe it like sends a vibration or whatnot that like chases after the player and you have to like hide behind the environment or something. And if, oh yeah, that'll be enough. That's, okay, yeah. And instead of it, the shockwave being like a normal attack, if the player hides out of the boss's sight for too long, and it doesn't like reset when they like go out, it like slowly goes down. It could do that if it like, you know, the player doesn't stay out in the field long enough and just dodges some of the vibrations or some of the other types of attacks that aren't vibrations, I guess. I don't know. Then the Warden boss will shoot out a shockwave that will probably apply some... Oh, I need to bring this out more. It will probably apply some form of knockback up and back in order to just bounce the player out from cover and have them be vulnerable in the air and whatnot. And have that be like a thing that only occurs every so often when the player is out of sight and out of mind. Yeah. That would definitely be an interesting fight, though. The only way you can really beat it is by using your bow and arrow. And it does do the darkness effect. However, the area surrounding the portal is the only part that's not affected by the darkness. In other words, you can see the portal, some blocks surrounding the portal and around it, in a blue glow, unless they can't do colored lights naturally. But if they can, in a blue glow, where the only thing you can see from afar is the Warden boss and the portal, alongside all of its attacks. I don't know, I think that would be a pretty cool boss fight. Although I would like a dimension more so than anything else. Maybe they can implement that system where there's like a portal in the dimension where the Wardens are. But it's not a portal leading to... Oh, wait. Actually, wait, what if the only way to access the Warden dimension is to beat the boss? I mean, obviously, you have to have some way to respawn the boss. Or maybe not respawn it, but just find another ancient city structure to be able to summon another one. And then you can use that portal there to, like, go around it. Yeah, what if that is the only way for you to be able to get to the dimension? Instead of those blocks being breakable, make them like bedrock. And then make it so that you have to beat the boss there in order to be able to access the portal area instance. Or, I don't know, maybe if it has to be breakable, have it instead just go on ahead and, what's the word I'm looking for? Have the portal require you to build it in a certain size. And then activate it, and you can fight the boss wherever, in a more suitable environment. Even if this particular boss fight prevents any more Warden spawns, and probably should have any existing Wardens dig underground, retreat. Yeah, that is definitely something that should be thought about. Instead of, a dimension right off the bat, have the players fight a powerful boss-type Warden that is still manageable without having to cheese it. I mean, it would be strange, though, if you can kill the boss Warden very easily, but you can't kill the other... I mean, I guess the boss Warden is too big and it's kind of like restricted. Whereas if the boss Warden wasn't restricted by the portal, it could probably come out and just chase after you easily. Because those things are fast as hell. And they can do damage. That's for certain. They can one-shot you if you don't have the right protection of armor. Which is kind of why you want to have netherite protection for when going into that place. Wait, did I forget anything here? I need to do another double check, a deep look at whether or not I did this right. Okay, good. Great, fantastic. How long have you been at this so far? 2.5 hours. God, I'm at 7 hours. A long-ass video like that, and we've only gotten close to 6 hours. And that's the closest we've gotten. Will we ever go higher than that? Probably not. Unless we were to do like a long live stream or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's something to think about. If it's a straight up dimension, then that's fine. There will probably be a dimensional boss. But I do like the idea of you having to fight a Warden boss in the portal, who's like in the portal frame. Not moving, only stays in the portal. And looks like, I don't know. Oh, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Where it has like that big gaping mouth, it's more like a lizard. in the way its head is like going out like this, with its like mouth like that, little prongs of light coming off of its body, and just the same warden-like arms except more primal and whatnot. Yeah, that's something. That is definitely something that could look cool for a boss fight, for the warden stuff. Hell, maybe even make the dimension for the wardens have like a whole bunch of weaker mobs. Well, not weaker mobs, but like mobs that will destroy you immediately if you're in just Diamond with Protection 4. So you would need to have Netherite with the Protection 4 to stand any chance against them. I mean, with the Netherite stuff, what else are you supposed to really like be afraid against? Outside of like, you know, the Warden and falling into the void and fall damage, there really isn't too much that you have to worry about mob-wise. And it really does show. It really does show when you get to that point. Barely any mobs are able to do any damage. Even the Vindicators, they're not doing as much damage. All in all, I think the only way to offset that is to make a dimension for the sole purpose for those particular types of mobs. But there obviously has to be a reason for you to go into that dimension. There do need to be a reason. Whether or not it's a new ore, I don't know. I'm not sure what the name of it would be, or whatever ore it could be. But I'm sure they can think of something. I'm just hoping that they're going to actually start putting more into future updates. Man, Minecraft's gotten to a point now where they really have to just have a massive amount of feature parity. And it's really just preventing, like, production on, like, many things. I do hope that they continue to stick with Java. Because from what I've heard with Redstone and Bedrock, it's not exactly good. Redstone in Java is apparently way better. Which, you know, given its quirks, if there's certain things that I can't make in Bedrock but I can make easily in Java, I obviously would not like that. I'd be pretty much limited on how many of the things that I can create. I mean, surely you can make... oh, Christ. Surely you can make all the types of redstone stuff that you need and that you can make in Java and Bedrock, but in a completely different way. Surely. Although, there is a lot of problems with Bedrock. Man, I swear, they drop frickin' Java, and we're all just stuck with Bedrock Edition, where it's just, like, so many issues that just haven't been fixed, apparently. I only got, like, secondhand information off of Bedrock. I only use Java. Even if I can't get Bedrock for free, like, I don't need to worry about, like, getting Bedrock for free. I don't know if you can or not. But I prefer Java. Just for a few reasons. Also, Java's Wither isn't an impossible fight that will always lead in death. God, that would be a pain in the ass to fight the Wither on Java. The Wither is already scary enough with the amount of damage that it does. I don't really trust myself to be able to fight it in full Prop 4 diamond armor as well as I'd like to. And I'm talking about in an open space area. I do have an idea on how I want to tackle the Wither. I do have an idea. What the hell? Is that just another eye floater? Looked like something fell. I guess not. Okay, you make the frickin' place a mess, don't you? Now I gotta clean it again because you are a freaking mess. Alright, well, anyways. I keep thinking this is a gnat on my goddamn monitor. Those annoying little things that just keep on coming despite the fact that I keep on killing them. What is going through their mind when they fly on the screen? Surely their friends must know that they are always dying every time they come on the screen. Surely. They have to have some idea. Alright, let's see. Shorts 1D. Right, alright, good, great, fantastic. I think that takes care of her. Let me get her coffee cup done first. Did I forget to bring that up? I think I did, yeah, let me... I don't know if that was a freaking small gnat or just a bead of sweat. Man, I can't wait for summer to be fucking over. I'm sick of the bugs and I'm sick of the heat. I do way better in the winter. The only issue with the winter is when trying to do certain acts, it gets cold where part of my body gets numb. My feet mostly. And it's really annoying. It is really annoying having to deal with that. Having to deal with this stupid cold sometimes as well. Better than the heat, at least the cold doesn't drain my freaking energy. Okay, stop selecting that one. Select this one. E, you fool. Go to E. At least with the cold, my energy is fine. But when it comes to the heat, my God. It's annoying. It's annoying having to deal with this overheating nonsense. Whew, man, 2.5 hours. At least we're almost done with the shading process. Not as close as I'd like, but we are at least getting there. Ugh, my God. I guess it's just going to be a long part then, which makes sense given the fact that it's a big drawing. This is a big drawing though. A big drawing indeed. Part of me wonders if I should try to go about making my own data pack in Minecraft. And the only reason to make a data pack for me is to make my own blocks and whatnot, you know? I think that would look cool. Well, I don't know if I can make my own, what do you call it? I mean, I guess if we were to make you could probably make changes to the stone cutter, right? So I could probably have a lot of the block stuff that I need to make derived solely from the stone cutter. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Have all of that derived from the stone cutter. And the stone cutter would just be called a cutter at that point. Which makes sense because it's able to cut metal, something that isn't stone. So why can't it cut wood, eh? It's just a saw blade. It should be able to cut wood. Plus, do you use a saw to cut stone? I don't know how that works. So it makes more sense for you to utilize a saw blade to cut wood than stone. Although, don't get me wrong, it's still good to have it cut stone. So why not just have it cut everything? If we have it cut everything, we can very easily have all of the things that we need in terms of stairs at a readily available abundance and whatnot. Hell, maybe even put the logs in the stone cutter to get like double the wood or something. I don't know. It seems like a good idea. Or maybe not double. Maybe like you get half more, 1.5 more percent, or 50% more. Yeah, 50% more. You get 50% more materials. That would be good, right? Rot. And yeah, you get more wood that way. And also, it would just be good to be able to do that and only have to spend 1 block to get 1 stair. If I were to make a data pack, and if I can adjust things in the stone cutter, while I'm also making like many different types of wood, and maybe even stone variation that you can only get from the stone cutter, you know, because why not? That would be nice if we can make that adjustment to the stone cutter. I mean, yeah, you have to, it's a recipe, right? You have to have a recipe going into the stone cutter to be able to actually like do stuff in that department. So surely all I just have to do in the data pack is not only make it so that the particular types of blocks that I want to have be available, only available through the stone cutter, I would have also logs to give us 6 pieces of wood, and stairs will replicate what we have for the other one. You might think that's overpowered, but, you know, if you don't want to, like, deforest a crap ton of things, because, like, really, it's not overpowered. You want to build stuff, right? And having certain things to go to be able to break it down and get even more equipment from it, more things from it, that is, you know, that's fine. That shouldn't really be something that's limited. I'm just hoping that the data packs are built properly to where I don't have to worry about doing any form of updates. See, I don't know how like all the data pack stuff works when like things are combined. Do you just gotta like name your data pack after like yourself or something so that you may be able to have your data pack combine with others and not like have any conflicts? I don't know if I'll do that yet. I kind of want to get to a point in my vanilla series right now where there's literally not really much that we can do, and I want to like improve upon like, well, if there's not really much that we can do, then what reason is there for us to build more? I guess once we got into the point where we like get done with the main combat stuff and when we want to like build some more stuff, maybe we'll go dabble into some data packs making. Maybe. We'll see. That on top of game crafters, I'm not sure. Maybe by the time we get to that particular point in Minecraft, we will be leaving our current job and we'll be making money off of either YouTube or my series that I'm making on Deviantart, via having it turn into an anime or a manga, or even the games that I make. Could be. We could. Not necessarily impossible, you know. Let me make that smaller. So, yeah. Needless to say, the amount of work that we have on top of Sonic Adventures 2 at the end of every freaking month, Minecraft 2 episodes every Friday, and Game Crafters an episode every Saturday or Sunday, if we have to deal with work on Saturday. And then we got Sunday through Thursday for drawing, art time and hardcore mature drawings. Yeah, we don't really have a lot of time. I don't have the luxury of time right now until I can get money other way and by other means instead of this freaking job, we are very restricted on how much time we possess. Kind of funny how I'm still making like a lot more videos and there is just no subscribers or views coming in. It is kind of funny. We are going to be able to reach our goal of getting 1,000 videos without having double digits in the subscriber count at this rate. Which is fine by me because, you know, why not? Why the if not? Right, cat? Anyways, the entire process, that of which we are working on. In Minecraft. Building that city, then we gotta build Snow Den or Slime Coliseum and do a little bit more work around our house. It'll take many seasons before we really get to a point where we can decide that, yes, we'll do this. We'll start making data packs and whatnot. I don't know if I would do a modded series. See, that's the thing. We've been sticking with vanilla because it's been all about building. I mean, that's essentially what Minecraft is. You mine materials, i.e. landscaping or strip mining. You craft things, i.e. all the tools and stuff that I have. And you just build. And that's essentially all you're doing is building, alongside all the combat-based stuff. But aside from that, well, when it comes to modded stuff, there's more to do than just building. And there's also many things in modded stuff that wrecks your builds as well, which kind of fucking sucks. Although, I'm not sure, like, how that would go down. Oof. Man, I don't know. Needless to say. There are many things when it comes to something like, for example, RL Craft. Ah, for fuck's sakes. You idiot. Why did I make this goddamn nail if you're not going to... Oh my fucking god. I hate it when this does that. I really fucking hate it when that does that. Why can't you just frickin' work properly? No. Work properly, brain. And go to the damn nail layer made specifically for this. Now I think this one is also fucked. Yep, go fucking fix it. It's fine. We can fix it. It's not a big issue to fix. If, for whatever reason, the Minecraft series were to end, I would say we would start doing a Terraria series. I have yet to fully beat that game. Yet. Because the freaking Moon Lord, we only got like one attempt, but we kind of just like raged out of there before our character died, because we didn't die at all. Then after that, I was like, okay, now this boss is too hard, I am not going to do this right now. And then I just never got around to doing it. After that, I just kind of stopped playing it. So it would be good, I guess technically speaking, to play as a character who is destined to die. And since I can't play as an ROTC cat, yeah, looks like we gotta go towards the Nuke of the Dukem. Yes, Dick Kickem, or the Duke Nukem Duplicates. And maybe even have a little side story going on where the Duke Nukems are replacing the Dukes who died or whatnot. I mean, we'll try our best to not die. I mean, that is kind of a given. It's good to want to try to not die. And we're not going to, like, play it where all of our inventory drops. It's going to be more casual. Part of me wonders if I should have, like, a crap ton of money on Duke when he died. I mean, it would suck to lose all that money, but also to have, like, a much nicer looking gravestone. Yeah, that would be great. Don't know if or when I am ever going to play that and record it in this instance, but we'll see. Terraria is also another one of those series that is more likely to be long. I'm not entirely too sure how I would have everything built within that department. Because we could build a city. We can have certain characters be in different areas and whatnot. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely too sure. Well, anywho's and wits. Yeah, that's something we can do. Something we can do indeed. Yeah, just build a freaking graveyard full of duplicate graves. Oh god, if only there's a way I can mod Terraria to where I just have a red rectangle, which is showing some of the scene in the background and an overlay of sunglasses. And replace the noise with just sound like Duke Nukem and whatnot. I'm sure there's a way I could mod it. Maybe there's a Steam Workshop for it. I don't know. Actually, does Terraria have a Steam Workshop? I'm gonna look it up. Terraria Steam Workshop. It seems like it does. I wonder if there's anybody who has made a Duke Nukem voice over a thing. Is there a way I can just... I don't know if I want to waste my time with this right now. I gotta get this focused on. But yeah, that's something to do. At a later date. Something indeed. Something indubitably. I don't know how long it'll take to get there, though. Now, don't get me wrong. I would like to do more series on the channel. But we got a lot of long-running series. And I'm not one to want to just abandon a series halfway in. Because we're trying to keep a certain, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? A certain consistency going on. Where we have to do this and we're obligated to do this, despite the fact that we're not making anything out of this, just doing this for the sake of doing it. We do that, and it gives us the motivation for game crafters. That motivation is still there. And the only thing that's really motivating me to continue this endeavor is the fact that we're trying to go for a goal to make thousands upon thousands of videos with no subscribers. That's our goal. I don't know why it's our goal. We just made that our goal. And I don't even have to try. I don't even have to try to stick under that number. Because I am, for some reason, am just so cursed with the curse of obscurity that no matter what, I am just unable to get to my target audience. I think I do have a target audience, but the problem is the obscurity curse is so goddamn great that somehow, in some way, shape, or form, the curse fucks around with the algorithm, and my targeted audience that will guarantee me another subscriber, is just unable to reach these videos because the curse is just so goddamn strong. So I'm going to go the opposite direction of wanting to get subscribers. I will still ask for subscribers. And I will just go on ahead and say I welcome Void Demons as I get them thousands and thousands of videos worth of content. That's what we do. And that's what we're doing. No, go to Pearson. All things considered, we are on the goops. I forgot about that. Right, you don't even go that far out. Honestly, we don't even have to move that much. I just gotta do this, do that, and then do... Where is it? This. And thanks to the way this system works, I just gotta do, no. Go to the head, and go to here. No. Well, it's not going to work if that is there, so why don't you also move what you need to move, which is back here, and why don't you just delete only this portion? There we go. No problem. Whoops, did not want to do that. Go back to the head, adjust some things here. And now we go over to here and get the rest of the ear. And go over to here and get this part of the ear. Then after that, the only shading we have left outside of like the countertop is Tasha. We are almost 3 hours in. Jesus Christ. Which makes me wonder if I should just do the texture process on its own. I probably should. This episode has gotten too long and I'm running out of material. Oh, immediate material, I guess. Also, it's just good to want to take a break in general. Okay, alright, another drink. Do that, just to ensure that we can then dissolve the rest of the little bits. Similar. So, we're almost done. Not much longer now. We's almost done. Well, for this episode. There's still a lot more that I want to do here. It depends on what the background is going to look like, whether or not I decide to put more characters in. There's just so many characters here. 7 is a lot. Despite the fact that I had definitely drawn way more than 7 in one drawing. Ah, shitberg. How do I not notice these things? At least that one was easy to put back. I'll do the shirt first. The shirt should all be one instance, right? Yeah, look at that! Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. All one. All in one! Some body spray, I don't remember. I don't remember these stupid ads. I'm just making fun of them. Now let's see. Okay, so you need to be darker. Yeah, this is always the annoying part when it comes to like trying to like have things connect like this. Due to how my style is, this part's always the annoying one. To try to make it look separate from everything and have it look connected. Or have it be separated from everything and have it look connected is what I meant. Like, for instance, the hands is always a pain in the ass. The back of the feet is also always a pain in the ass. Because it's just the same as the hand. And the hand's also kind of in the same boat with the palm, at least with the feet. I guess there's only like a few things that need to be combined, but the others can look like they're behind things and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, it is a rather different art style. Most people just like have shading done with in completely different way than what I'm doing. And therefore they don't really have to worry about that too much. I don't know, I feel like if I were to do those actual shading instances where it's not like a soft shade, but it's like a hard shade color, I don't feel like I would be doing it right. I feel like I would be screwing it up somehow. Also, why is that? I mean, you know, hands are here doing this. It's supposed to look like that. And the cup is supposed to be. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. If it doesn't, it's not supposed to look like that, then it's fine. It don't matter. So he's holding a cup in some way, shape, or form. Alright. Not for crying. Wait, no, that's fine. This. Not the one I wanted to increase. You fool. And your finger is covering the edge point. Now I need to make this one brighter. Even though you can't even see it. Like, you can barely see it. God, it's almost 12. And we've been at this for like 3 hours. So much time put into just shading, coloring and shading the characters in. My God. Oh, wait a minute. Shitizen. Okay, that's an easy fix, don't worry. It's not a problem. I just need to move Devia's folder up above Nagato's. There. Good. Great. Glad I caught that. See what I mean? Outside of forgetting to do color in layers and shading in layers and texturing layers, there's also forgetting to have layers be on a specific and be in a specific order. Man, when a project is big, it is more liable. There's a greater chance, I should say, actually, to somehow screw up. To somehow miss some things and screw up many things. It's fine. It's fine. Oh God, it's doing that rotating nonsense. Folks, there we go. I need to stretch a little bit. And now the only one left to shade in is Tasha. What are you meowing at? I don't even know you can hear her. I mean, you kind of could have heard her in that one episode where she was just meowing in the background. I'm going to move that a little bit over here, actually. But it was very faint and it was cutting out. I think you can still hear her when she's like up here because she's like much closer to the mic as opposed to all the way over there. I mean, you at least were able to hear her over there, albeit softly and cut out a tiny bit. But, yeah. Alright, anyways. I definitely gotta draw some of these girls more. Erica, definitely. I have been doing so. Nagato, you'd bet we're gonna want to draw more of her. Divya also. Like, Divya's not too bad. From the first time I drew Divya, it wasn't that good. But I've been getting, like, way better somehow. Yes, I have been somehow getting way better than, like, the album 30s. What album was that? Album 33. That was during a time where I thought, damn, I am getting very good here. Real good. Everything it just looks so cool. And everything looks so precise anatomy-wise. But some of the anatomy, some of it looks a little bit off on occasions. But we have just been getting better. The anatomy and the facial stuff. I mean, there are some instances in the facial instance that looks a bit off, like that one drawing of Erica and 3 different, what do you call it? most of it is because of the way this perspective looks. So it's either weird looking because of the perspective, or I'm just not doing the perspective right. Either way, well, we have been getting better at it. And if you were to look at the first drawing, which I will show you it after I'm done shading in Tasha, if I remember. I'm probably not going to remember. Matter of fact, screw it, I'm going to show it anyways because I'm not going to remember. This was all the way back in album 33, I believe. Where is it? Here it is. The first drawing of the girls right here. Like, eye here wasn't too good. Eye here slightly not as good. The way I did side heads didn't look too good. I definitely improved upon the side heads, though. Somewhat same with this. But now when you look at stuff like that, we got a much nicer looking side head. Much more better proportion in the eyes. I still keep the eyes like this, even though technically it's supposed to be like that. Because that looks better. It makes it look like she's more happier instead of like whatever the hell emotion you would feel when you have your eyes set up like that. We have definitely improved since album 33. Which is a weird thing to say because album 33 does not feel like it was that long ago, but it kind of technically was. Like all of the albums from behind like a certain instance, before I started doing like full-on animated faces instead of trying to replicate the more mature looking face. Oh god, no. Why is this on highlight mode, you idiot? Ugh, whatever, it's fine. I'll adjust the eyes a bit. Oh wait, I didn't exit out of highlight mode. Right. Anyways, as I was saying, art styles have improved greatly, even in, like, the 40s album. Yeah, album 40s. All of those. Which is very strange to think. Like, yeah, sure, we got some simplistic drawings that we do that, like, aren't, like, that good. I more so consider them as doodles, but they still probably look good in the eyes of most other people out there. Maybe not in the eyes of a professional. But I'm no professional. I'm no professional in anything. I don't like to have to feel professional in my fields and whatnot. Because let's be honest with ourselves here. If you're too professional in your fields, it's just going to be a drag. And I don't really like that. Also, what the fuck is this? Oh, wait. I was wondering where the frick lip 1B was coming from. But no, that was just the mouth. I just didn't frickin' name it properly. God, even the layers aren't being named properly. The names of the layers aren't being named properly. So many things I keep screwing up. I mean, at the very least, it still looks good. And that's what matters. How long have we been at this so far? Over 3 hours. Jesus Christ. Well, I do say, though, we're not on too bad of a time frame here. We definitely aren't going to be able to get some texturing in. I mean, unless I want to, like, try to speedrun textures here. But, I don't know. I think it's better to just call it after we finish up the shading. And then we do the texture. Because, let's not forget, we do have a lot of stuff here to texture. Clothing, hair. It'll probably take like another 30 minutes, and then this will be a 4-hour-long episode. Well, I say this like it's going to get up to 3:30, because right now it's only at 3:07, about to be 3:08. In just a few seconds now. But still, it's probably for the best that we just cut it after we get the shading done with, and then do the rest of what we need to do off camera. Texture the girls in, get the, what do you call it, background outlined, and then after that, we just need to go on ahead and, what's the word I'm looking for here? Finish the drawing up. That's all we need to do at that point. Whew, okay, alright, let's see. think there's too much here that I need to do. Alright. Now for the fingers. Let's probably make this smaller, shouldn't I? And now the other thing, oops. I really wish the folders weren't selected when you do that. Whoops. I would like to try to get the outline and all of that stuff done with before tonight ends. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I am tired as hell. Alright, now for the can. This is different, right? Yeah, okay. This is on the same layer. I meant to say not different. Same layer. We're not drawing any name brand cans. Just some random whipped cream can. Originally, I was accidentally about to make one of those either Lysol spray cans or Barber shaving cream cans with the little rectangular top with the little hole there and that, but then I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like what a whipped cream can is supposed to look like. And then I went on ahead on Google and looked it up to remember what that was supposed to look like, and then I was reminded. Now it looks like that. I mean, if you remove the whipped cream, it looks like that. The whipped cream definitely does make it so that there's less layers here that we need to worry about. So, yeah. That's what we got. I don't think I got the fingernails, actually. Hold on. Well, if I did, I didn't really do a good job of making it look like I got them. Now there's only one more thing left to do, and that's the arm. The last arm. The other arm. It also feels nice to just see my creations just in their, like, zone. In their area, doing what they enjoy. I have these characters usually always enjoy their job. I don't like to make characters who hate their jobs, or like characters that I like a lot. Whoopsies. Being able to do a job that you like and making money off of it. That's the goal, really. And I don't really have that same, like, purpose drive that most people do when it comes to jobs. I just want to create. Anything that prevents me from creating makes me angry at it. If I can't create, then what's the point? God, I swear, if there's an afterlife and I somehow turn into a fucking god that creates stuff, I'm gonna be fucking surprised to see that that's what happens. I die and my soul creates another universe that I can reside in, and then that's my freaking universe. Or all the universes that I've made are, you know, accessible. I access them, and now I'm just like going through all the universes, creating and whatnot. I'm still curious how the hell the whole afterlife instance is gonna work. Because we clearly have no idea what the hell is going to occur once we all die. We have no knowledge on how souls work. And we also don't really know, like, anything about what the hell is going to be happening in the afterlife. I'm sure there's a lot about that we can talk about. But, we're pretty much are finished up here, so, yeah. I forgot I did shading. I don't think I did. I think I got everything. I'm going to take a quick look. Everything I think is kind of shaded in, so awesome. Awesome, great, fantastic. All right, well, we're out of time for today, so thank you all for watching today's episode of Art, or this part of Art Time. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe for more, check out that there playlist, and of course, the previous episode of Art Time right over here, and the most recent episode of Minecraft ROTC Edition. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next part. Later.